Microphone check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good afternoon and welcome to live coverage of Buffalo State College Club hockey. Bengals are on the road today at the Cheektowaga Town Rink facing Erie Community College. Hello, I'm Aaron Alpern. Thank you for joining us for coverage of today's game. We get ready for puck drop with the Ivy Lee Pharmacy pregame show brought to you by Ivy Lee Pharmacy, a locally owned neighborhood pharmacy for over 60 years on Elmwood Avenue in Kenmore. Buff State and ECC meeting for the second time in a week. It was last weekend that the ECC Cats beat Buff State in a shootout by a score of 5-4. Isaac Murray scoring twice in regulation and then again in a shootout as all three Cats found the net during the shootout versus only one for Buff State. Brett Sardina had a stellar game in defeat with 2 goals and 1 assist against his former team. Buff State was then in action again on Thursday, dropping a 5-4 decision to Niagara County Community College. Bengals were down 5-1 in that game at one point, but they almost came all the way back in the third period. However, though, Buff State has now lost consecutive games for the first time since October of 2019. That group of Bengals dropped back-to-back games to Penn State Barron College and the University at Buffalo. However, the talent in that Buffalo State in the Buffalo State program in general has grown by leaps and bounds in the 2 years since then, which is something that makes this recent skid maybe even a little bit more puzzling. Some of the Bengals' season-long issues reared their heads in the last couple of weeks during these 2 losses back-to-back. Some of the inconsistent passing and sloppy defensive play that were a hallmark of both of the losses. It's been a rough November and start of December for Buff State. Over the last 5 games, the team is 2-2-1, a -6 goal differential while giving up 5.4 goals per game. Certainly some things that I know the team is looking to improve on here this afternoon, as this is the last game of the first semester. Next game taking place on January 28th at Penn State Barron College. So a little bit of time off coming up and one last game in the first semester to improve on the overall record of the team. Buff State coming into this contest with a record of 8-3-1, 8 wins, 3 losses, and 1 loss in a shootout. That, of course, was the loss to ECC a week ago at the Buffalo State Ice Arena. Bengals coming in tonight, obviously looking for a little bit of revenge for that loss and hopefully getting a little bit of a nice finish to the semester. It's been a strong finish, or a strong semester in general for Buff State. A little bit of a hiccup here down the stretch, and we'll see exactly how the semester finishes with this game here today against the ECC Cats. Taking a quick look at our UNY-CHL scoreboard presented by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. And a couple of games last night going on in the league. It was Gannon 11-3 over Medaille, a 6-6 tie between St. John Fisher and Geneseo, and Albany picked up a win 6-3 over Colgate. A couple of interesting games we're keeping an eye on tonight. It is St. Bonaventure at Niagara, Lemoyne at Albany. Also a couple of good games in the league tomorrow. Cortland facing Hamilton, Niagara right here in this building at ECC tomorrow afternoon, and St. Bonaventure taking on Alfred State in a, what I guess is a home game for both of them as they play in the same arena. Alfred State is the home team for that game in a UNY-CHL West Division matchup. We'll keep an eye on that one tomorrow as the Buff State Bengals still maintaining their lead in the UNY-CHL West with a 6-0 overall record in the division. It's essentially a 2+ game lead over St. Bonaventure, and then Fredonia and Alfred in there as well in the mix. Alfred picking up a big upset win recently over Fredonia. So it's an interesting race in terms of the UNY-CHL West Division, and that race picks up coming up again in January as the team re-enters its divisional play, coming up with a game at Penn State Barron College on the 28th, the next night at Alfred State, and then 2 games at Fredonia to wrap up the divisional play for the Buff State Bengals this year. But it's one more non-divisional game, a cross-divisional game here tonight, this afternoon rather. It's at the ECC Cats, and both teams are now taking the ice as we get ready for puck drop in this rematch between these two schools. Buffalo State and ECC, they met a week ago, and it was ECC picking up a win in a shootout. Bengals looking to exact a little bit of revenge here this afternoon, and they have an opportunity to do so to end the semester on a bright note as the team finishes off its first semester play. A reminder, the Buffalo State Club Hockey Meat Raffle is back this year. It's a great fundraiser, an opportunity for you to take part and support the team. This year's Meat Raffle comes up next week. It is next Saturday, December the 11th at 4 p.m. Takes place at the Eden VFW, a good chance to stock the freezer for the holidays and also support Buffalo State College Club Hockey at the same time. Both teams have taken the ice, and I would guess we're about ready to meet the starting lineups, then have the national anthem. And then we'll be ready for puck drop here from the Cheektowaga Town Rink. It is the Buffalo State Bengals on the road today, taking on the ECC Cats. For the second time in a week, it's the Buffalo State Bengals and the ECC Cats, this time live from the Cheektowaga Town Rink. It is the Bengals on the road as they look to improve their overall record, 8-3-1 coming into this game, facing off against the 4-4-1 ECC Cats. Both teams have been introduced. We've heard the starting lineups, and now we're ready for puck drop here from the Cheektowaga Town Rink. Thank you for joining us on our team YouTube channel as we have live coverage of today's game, as we had all throughout here this first semester, this season. Bengals looking to end the first semester on a positive note here. It's been a little bit of a downtime here for the last month or so. Team comes in with a record of 2-2-1 in its last 5 games. November started off with a win against Central Florida, and then a loss against Tampa. And we are now underway from the Cheektowaga Town Rink, the Bengals and Cats. as the puck ends up into the ECC zone to start off with. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon as Ben Gallivan looks for a loose puck in the offensive zone for the Bengals. Back to the point, Cole Newman has it there. Newman playing a new position, shot in on goal. That one looked like it redirected on its way in. Not sure the goalie ever saw it. Did manage to make the save and keep that one out of the net. Backhand shot from Joe Lotempio from the slot, doesn't get through. Cole Newman keeps it in though, gets that backhander down deep into the zone. Zach Schultz then tried to fire a pass out in front, but Ben Gallivan losing his stick in on that play. Coming back in the other direction now are the Cats, but Cole Newman picking up that puck, ringing it around the board, sending it back into the neutral zone, forcing ECC to start back in their own end before they head back up ice. Loose puck in the neutral zone. It's Gallivan taking it away, heading into the offensive zone. He's got to step on the defender, gets a backhand shot in on goal. Save made on that one by today's starting goaltender, number 31, Jake Jacks. Jacks getting the start here tonight for the ECC Cats. It was Noah Winarski in net for the ECC win a week ago. On the other side of the rink, we have number 30, Evan Kumpf, in net for the Buffalo State Bengals, as A.J. White getting the night off here today. Puck through the neutral zone, huge hit right against the Buffalo State bench, as Mike Guerrera laid his man out in the neutral zone, forcing that puck to be turned over. Puck is then turned over yet again here in the neutral zone. Buffalo State having to regroup at their own blue line. It's Elliott Hunt with the puck at the ECC blue line. Harassed by one man, but he manages to get a shot off. That hit a skate and went wide. Now a battle for the loose puck. It is won by Sardina, and he fires a cross-ice pass that ends up in the neutral zone. Adam Brennan quickly sending it back into the offensive zone. Brennan playing in his likely last game as a member of the Buffalo State Bengals here today, as he is enrolling in the police academy shortly. Certainly expecting an inspired performance from number 88 as he wraps up his career in the black and orange. He's out there right now with his defensive partner Ryan Kelly. Kelly gets that pass up to Guerrera in the neutral zone. That pass doesn't connect, but Sardina finds a loose puck just to the ECC blue line. Sardina getting it into the offensive zone, spins and backhands it deep into the zone. And ECC reverses course, trying to send it up the near side, but Elliott Hunt keeping it in the zone, sending it down low to Guerrera. Colin Branca coming in off the bench to put some pressure on the far side, but ECC managing to get it out. Another hit there from the Buff State Bengals. Maybe a 2-on-1 developing, though. Evan Kumpf making that save as the shot was taken by Bicina from the right side coming into the zone. Loose puck just sitting here below our broadcast position inside the Buff State end. Ryan Hahn finding possession of it, slowing it down, sending a long pass to the neutral zone, trying to find Ryan Miller. Just doesn't connect, but Buff State does get a piece of that one, sending it into the offensive zone. Puck comes off of a skate. Branca keeping it in for Buff State briefly. Then it comes back into center ice. Ryan Hahn digging it out there, sending it up ice, and Branca fires it in across the blue line. Some pressure there from Gosen. He almost got on Region very quickly there. Region had to be quick to get that puck up ice to make sure he didn't get caught with a man behind him. And as the puck comes across the ECC blue line, both teams trying to trade possession there as Branca takes a big hit from Ienko. Back into the ECC zone. Region sends a long pass through the neutral zone, too far for anyone. Ends up banking off the boards and right in on the goaltender, Evan Kumpf. Kumpf decides to cover that one up. Hold on for a whistle, and we get our first stoppage in the action with 16:53 remaining in the first period. No score yet between the ECC Cats and the Buffalo State Bengals. Face-off coming up to the right of Evan Kumpf, the Williamsville East graduate, playing in his third game here tonight. He comes in with a record of 1-0 and a 3.82 goals against average. Ben Gallivan getting the puck into the offensive zone for Buff State. Now he circles in behind the net, feeds that pass out in front. Nobody there. Eventually Newman is there. He fires that shot in on goal. Got deflected just up and over top of the crossbar late. Gallivan finding another loose puck in the offensive zone. Cuts Ben towards the slot. Tries to get a shot off, but he had two different men on him. Now a loose puck sitting there in the high slot. And eventually it's brought out of the zone for ECC by number 24, Shenfield. Shenfield feeds a pass out in front. That one doesn't connect. And now back in the opposite direction with some speed is Jeff Hyde. Hyde into the offensive zone. Good move around his man there. Just loses control of it after making that first move on the defenseman. Puck now coming out of the zone for ECC as the pass comes up to Ienko. Ienko chips it behind Newman, and the two of them go chasing after it in the corner. A little bit of back pressure there from Zach Schultz, allowing Buff State to come up with the puck. Now it comes up to Gallivan on the left wing. Gallivan gets it behind the defenseman, now coming in one-on-one. Some back pressure coming as well. Shot taken from just outside of the top of the circle, goes wide, then ends up wrapping around the boards and coming all the way back down into Buff State zone as Ienko and Schultz bump coming back into the play. Two of them collide there in the neutral zone again. Schultz gets it up ice and into the ECC zone. And Sardina intercepts a pass, carrying it into the end now. And can't make the move around his man there. That allows ECC a chance to clear, but unable to do so, as number 13, Ryan Kelly, got in the way there, fired a quick shot in on goal. Save made by Jax, covers up for a whistle with 15:24 now remaining in the first period. Still awaiting our first goal here, but some good back and forth action between these two teams so far in the game's first 4.5 minutes. Face off on the near side here in the ECC zone. Mike Guerrero doing some good forecheck work to get a pass out in front of the net. It doesn't connect, but it comes back to the point. Now a quick one-touch pass, and from down low, Brett Sardina fires the shot in on goal. He had a bit of a screen that helped him shoot it right past the goaltender. Buff State is on the board first. It's a 1-0 hockey game as Brett Sardina again scores on his old team here, giving the Bengals the early 1-0 lead. Number 53 had a pair of goals in last week's game against ECC, as he clearly had an inspired effort playing against his old mates. And it appears that he has that same energy here today, as he has the Bengals' first goal. We're a little less than 5 minutes in, and Brett Sardina has Buff State out in front by a score of 1-0. Puck comes back into Buff State territory. Ryan Kelly picks it up there, starting the breakout over to his defensive partner, Adam Brennan. Brennan with a little bit of difficulty handling it, but he gets it back across to Kelly, and the two of them play catch behind the net. Quickly up ice, it's Brett Sardina with speed. He gets it to Hunt just at the blue line. Hunt gets knocked down as he gains the offensive zone. That allows Duma to get it out and send it up into center ice. Puck right at the ECC blue line now, comes rolling across the ice. Then it is sent into the offensive zone by Duma for ECC. Evan Kumpf setting it up there, getting a pass up the left wing to Adam Brennan. Brennan into the neutral zone where he's got Sardina. Sardina dumps it in, but he did not gain the red line before doing so. And by the difference of about 1.5 feet, it will be icing on the play, and the faceoff will come back into Buff State territory. Now 14:29 remaining here in first period play. It's a 1-0 lead for the Buff State Bengals. Support for Buffalo State College Club hockey comes from Town Auto. For over 50 years, a proud member of the Western New York community, putting customers' needs first and helping them find the right car at the right price. Dealerships of Town Auto make buying a car easy, whether online, over the phone, or in store. We love our town. Elliot Hunt getting the puck out here, has to glove it down and then pick it up again, tries to dump it in, but he ends up dumping it right into the pants of the defenseman there, Brombus. Comes back out into the neutral zone as Buff State makes a change. Ryan Hahn slows it down, gets it up to Joe Lotempio. Lotempio gets it down low. Gallivan then quickly tries to get it right out in front, and then the puck ends up being cleared up and over the near glass here on the near side, up into the protective netting, and we'll get a stoppage in play right at the 14-minute mark of the first period. Buff State still leading this one by a 1-0 score. Faceoff is going to be deep in the ECC zone to the left of the goaltender, Jax. And it is Joe Lotempio on the draw for Buff State. However, he's unable to maintain possession of it as Ienko wins it cleanly back. ECC trying to start their breakout on the far side. It is Kinsman there with the puck on his stick. Up ice to Ienko, and Ienko carries it in across the blue line. Jeremy Ienko makes a move to get wide on Newman, carries it in towards the net, made a quick move to get a shot in on goal, but it went just wide and into the corner. And now Ryan Hahn has possession of a loose puck here and sends it cross ice to Ben Gallivan. Gallivan unable to corral that one, and back in the other direction it's Kinsman, makes a move at the blue line, then takes a big hit just inside the blue line by Joe Lotempio. Ienko, though, coming out with that loose puck, circling it in behind the net. Ryan Hahn digging it out there and sending it back around to this side as Schultz tries to put some pressure on the defenseman here at the point. Puck is kept in, Haken Logan making sure it stays in the zone, and the puck is then scooped high and ends up in the Buff State bench as Ryan Hahn attempting the clearing attempt. Just missed the glass right in front of him, ended up in the Buff State bench. So we'll have another whistle, and then the faceoff coming up to the left of Evan Kumpf inside the Buffalo State zone with 13:09 now left in the first. ECC winning that draw, getting a shot quickly in on goal. Stick save made by Kumpf. And now it's Alex Gosen trying to dig a loose puck here out of the near corner. Gets it up to Branca. Branca trying to get a cross-ice pass across, but it is knocked down. And ECC keeps the pressure on. Alex Hussey trying to break it out. Getting some help from Kelly. Kelly quickly up to Gosen. Gosen into the neutral zone to Branca. Very well executed breakout there for the Bengals. Losing control right at the blue line, but then they take it in just barely off sides. Miller just could have waited a fraction longer to make sure his teammate cleared the zone. Offsides is the call, however, and with 12:41, that faceoff will be coming up right at the ECC blue line. Going to be Branca on the draw for Buff State, winning that one cleanly, and then dumping it into the zone is going to be Alex Hussey. Ryan Miller on the far side, putting some pressure on. He's got the puck on his stick now at the top of the circle, looking for a pass, loses control of it as it comes back to the point to Hussey, but he can't grab it with a skate. And then back into the neutral zone, Ryan Miller settling it down and skating it up ice, getting that pass to Branca. Branca deflects it into the offensive end, then puts some pressure on himself. ECC looking to start to break out up the near side. Can't get it past Hussey, though, and Hussey gets it down low quickly. Branca with the shot in on goal. Save made by Jax. Nice play at the right point by number 67, Alex Hussey, to come in and pinch perfectly there. Got that puck right in front of the net. Nice scoring opportunity for the Bengals there about 8 minutes into the first period. Bouncing puck goes over the stick of Ryan Kelly, then into the far corner of the Buff State zone. Alex Hussey finding it, though, and he's got some room to skate it out of the zone. Dangerous looking pass there as he tried to get it to Ben McFadden, ended up missing the mark, but Buff State still with control of the puck here in their own zone. Alex Hussey here on the near wall. That pass is between all of its intended targets, but the icing is waved off as the official ruled that there was an ECC player close enough to that to make a play on it. That allows Joe Lotempio to put some pressure on in the offensive zone. Puck comes swinging around back to the near point. Shot taken by Adam Brennan, right in on goal. Stick save made by Jax. Jax then forces it out to the far side, and Joswiak gets it into the neutral zone. Vicina trying to carry it in. He takes a shoulder there from Jeff Hyde, losing control of the puck. Now a loose puck in the far corner, and Joe Lotempio is the first one to it. Sends it around behind the net here to the near side. Point man Region comes in to make a play and get it into the slot. ECC unable to find that puck, though. And now it's Joe Lotempio back in the other direction, dumping it right in on goal. That one took a funny bounce. Looked like it changed directions after it hit the ice right in front of Jax. But he managed to recover and make the stop. Hangs on for a whistle now with 10:53 remaining in the first period. It is a 1-0 lead for the Buff State Bengals. On the goal by number 53, Brett Sardina. Sardina coming out again with his line of Hunt and Guerrera, looking for yet another offensive marker here in this afternoon's game. Kinsman, however, is the one coming out of the faceoff with the puck, carrying it into the offensive zone for the Cats. Good defensive play by Cole Newman as the recently converted defenseman makes a good play there in his own zone to stop that rush before it really got too much further up ice. And then Buff State ends up going in off sides, and we'll have a faceoff again in the neutral zone with 10:53 remaining here in period number 1. It is still a 1-0 lead for the Buff State Bengals. Our coverage is brought to you by the Hurdle Parker Liquor Store. With everyday low prices on a great selection of wines and spirits, the Hurdle Parker Liquor Store on the corner of Hurdle and Parker in North Buffalo. Buff State getting that puck deep into the offensive zone right off the draw. ECC quickly trying to break it out, though, but Cole Newman doing a good job to glove that puck out of the air, get that shot right in on goal. It is caught by the catching hand of Jax, however, and he decides to hang on for another whistle. Faceoff will be coming up to Jax's right in the offensive zone for Buff State. Sardina on for the draw against Kinsman. Kinsman winning that one, and then the puck is floated up that far glass, ends up going up and over the glass into the protective netting and out of play. So we'll have another faceoff there at the far dot in the offensive zone for Buff State. As a little bit of choppiness here to this game in the last few minutes. Same tooth for the faceoff, though. It's going to be Sardina and Kinsman. And this time it's Sardina getting the edge on that draw, but the ECC Cats coming out of the zone with the puck. Kinsman has it on his stick, carrying it across the blue line. Kinsman makes a move, gets wide on the defense, tries to get that pass out in front, just couldn't quite get it to his man there. And now in behind the net, ECC trying to find that puck and get it out in front. Player spinning around as he tries to find possession there. That was Miles Shenfield. As Elliott Hunt now tries to break it out. He had two different men on him. Some good work there to get it past them and into the neutral zone for Buff State. Brombus starting the breakout for the ECC Cats, getting it across to Allen. Then Allen into the neutral zone, but it's intercepted by Hahn there, who sends it back in. That one ends up going just over the glass behind the net. And that's going to result in a stoppage in play and a face-off coming up. Should be here in the neutral zone as Ryan Hahn was just trying to dump that puck in. Just ended up a little bit too high for his liking and ends up just over the net, over the glass there behind the net. And at 9:39 remaining in the period, faceoff will come up in front of the ECC bench in the neutral zone. Joe Lotempio on for the draw, and it is scrambled. That allows Ben Gallivan to sneak in and pick that puck up. It comes back across to Lotempio. Tempio with two different men on him, but he keeps some pressure on the defenders there in their own zone. Taking it away, though, was by Cena, looking to start the breakout up behind the net. Now kind of a scramble for a puck there with two different Bengals in there. One of them getting knocked down there late was Zach Schultz. And eventually ECC does manage to come out of their zone, but the puck hits the linesman in the skate. That allows Buff State to get it back across the blue line very quickly. Now it's a loose puck in front of the Buff State blue line. It was by Cena carrying it across the blue line, but he got the puck taken off of his stick by Brennan. Good defensive play there as ECC dumps the puck back across the blue line, trying to get some zone time here, but quickly back up ice is number 44, Zach Schultz. Schultz getting it to Gallivan. Gallivan with the puck in his skates there. It ends up coming just across the blue line into the neutral zone. And then Adam Brennan carried it in back across the blue line, hoping to catch the linesman unawares there. Unable to do so, though, and that results in another stoppage and offsides. And what seems to be the fourth or fifth faceoff there from that dot right in front of the ECC bench coming up. 8:48 is what the clock reads in terms of time remaining here in the first period. It's a 1-0 Buff State lead as the puck is along the ECC blue line. Big collision there between Jake Allen and Ryan Hahn. Hahn manages to get the puck deep into the zone, though, through the process. Allen now coming out of the zone. He gets it up to Murray. Murray looking for a shot there, but good defense from Ryan Hahn to get a stick on that puck, keeping it from getting in on net. Murray had 2 goals in the last game between these two teams. Certainly somebody to keep an eye on for the ECC Cats. He also scored in the shootout, so number 18 is a player that I'm sure the Buff State Bengals have an eye on. As you can see, Ryan Hahn not giving him a whole lot of time and space there in the neutral zone. Cole Newman finding a loose puck, sending it off the boards back into center ice. Carson Kolb picking it up there and looking to start the breakout. Getting it up to Allen. Allen now looking for a pass just inside of his own blue line. Good move there to get away from Branca. Allen then goes cross ice to Bielkowski, but Bielkowski losing that one to Gosen. Gosen with a couple of different men on him. Can't maintain possession, and now Murray down low takes a hit as he tries to drive in towards the front of the net. More good defense from number 29, Cole Newman, as he looks like he's played this position his entire life so far, based on how he's played so far in the first period. Pass coming up the right wing. Good play by Gosen to take a hit and still get that puck up ice. Sardina now carrying it across the blue line. Drops it for Newman. His shot doesn't get through as it was blocked by Bielkowski in the mid-slot. Bielkowski then clears the zone, sending it back into Buff State territory. Adam Brennan now regrouping here behind his own net. Brennan sends a pass up the left wing. Nobody there to recover that one. Then it hits a skate in the neutral zone that allows Sardina to carry it up ice. Sardina bringing it in, looking for a pass. He's got Guerrera. Guerrera takes that shot looking for the far corner. It went just wide and off the glass. Bengals maintaining the zone, though, as Alex Hussey steps in. Has to make a second step in and bumps his man to make sure he doesn't go chasing after that loose puck in the neutral zone. And now Brennan and Hussey start up ice from their own blue line. Hussey has to make a second passing attempt from his own blue line, and Kinsman comes back in the other direction. Shot in on goal in the backhand. Save made by Kumpf. And the rebound is cleared out of danger by Hussey. Bouncing puck up in the air now comes out to Sardina. Sardina settles it and banks it off the board, sends it through the neutral zone. It rolls slowly into ECC territory. Icing waved off on the play. And Sardina putting some pressure on now in the offensive zone. Mayenko coming into the offensive end now for ECC, but good defense there by Brennan to make sure that move didn't work. Mayenko again coming up with that loose puck, takes a bump just inside the blue line, and now the Bengals have it in the neutral zone with speed and Elliott Hunt. Hunt inside the blue line, lets the shot go, and he beats the goaltender low. He had the goaltender leaning in one direction, fired it back across the grain, and Elliott Hunt makes this one a 2-0 game in favor of the Buff State Bengals. Number 9, Elliott Hunt picking up his 3rd goal of the season, and that's a big one here in this game, as the teams had been kind of trading possession, going back and forth here in the neutral zone. Neither team really picking up much momentum coming off that first Buff State goal, but it is Buff State getting the 2nd goal here of the afternoon and opening up a 2-0 lead on a laser of a wrist shot by number 9, Elliott Hunt. So the Bengals with a 2-0 lead here in the first period as they look to get a little bit of revenge against this ECC team. ECC, of course, beat Buff State last week in a shootout by a 5-4 count. Bengals are well on their way to getting a little bit of that revenge, getting the first 2 goals here this afternoon as we are just under the 6-minute mark here in period number 1. Puck comes back to the point. Penalty coming up here to Buff State as the referee has his arm up here in the neutral zone. Loose puck there in front of the net, and a dangerous opportunity as that shot was taken by Joswiak. It either went just over the net, or maybe Evan Kumpf got a piece of that, as we still have this delayed penalty coming up here. Buff State still yet to touch that puck up. ECC with 6 skaters out there trying to take advantage of this. Puck comes back to the point, Region with it, carrying it in, fires that hard shot, goes high and up over the net, and that ends up going off the glass and coming out to Gallivan, who touches it up, finally gets that stoppage, and it's an interference call being signaled by the referee, and heading to the box will be number 8, Ben Gallivan. So the ECC Cats getting an opportunity here on the power play, the first man advantage of the afternoon. And it comes at a timely moment for them as they just fell behind 2-0 in this game. Jeremy Ianco on for the draw. He wins the draw, but quickly on it's Ryan Miller and getting it down ice. Now putting some pressure on the defenseman there, and he's going to end up taking a penalty on the play as he ended up chipping Allen as Allen went to pick up that puck. Number 9 spilled to the ice awkwardly, and the referee was right on the scene there. Quickly made the call. So this is going to be an issue here for the Bengals as they are now down it's a 5-on-3 two-man advantage for the ECC Cats. And they have this two-man advantage for a minute 51 here in the first period, as that penalty coming right after the start of the first penalty to Buff State. So we'll see what the Cats can do here with their two-man advantage. Kinsman setting it up here on the near side. Floats a pass back to Allen and then back to Kinsman here at the top of the circle. Down low, quick passing in front of the net. They had Buff State leaning in a lot of directions, just couldn't complete that last pass to get that shot in on net. It was a nice looking setup, just couldn't quite get that last pass connected. Shot now coming from the far side. Bielkowski half fans on it. That allows Newman to clear it, and he gets it past Bielkowski all the way out into the neutral zone. And Buff State has done a good job of killing off the start of this two-man disadvantage. Jacob Allen now carrying it out of his own zone, looking to set up the power play for ECC. Tries to make a move around the defenseman, gets a backhand shot in on goal, save made by Evan Kumpf. Allen gets the rebound and settles it down, looks to set up their power play here at the top of the point. Kinsman here at the top of the circle on the near side, down low to Murray. Back to Kinsman here at the top of the circle. That pass goes between Murray's skates. That gives Miller an opportunity, Kelly an opportunity to jump in there and make a play. Quickly sent down ice by the Bengals. Now 42 seconds left in the first penalty. 48 seconds remaining in the second one, as the Bengals have killed off a good portion of this 5-on-3 so far. Still have some more work to do as Kinsman brings it into the offensive zone and sets it up here in the left wing. Back to the point to Bielkowski. He fans on that pass again a little bit, but he does manage to get it all the way across to Allen. Allen then gets the puck taken off of his stick. Great play there by Mike Guerrera as he did some valuable time killing there of the penalty. Now just 13 seconds left in the first one. Kinsman again starting up ice for the Cats. He's got Guerrera on his heels as he stops on the hash marks and sets things up again. He's got Kelly on him. Nice play there by Kelly as he got the stick on him. The first penalty expires as Gallivan comes out of the box. Now just 5 seconds in the second Buff State penalty as they have possession of the puck, and they've killed off both of the calls against them here in the first period. Good work by the Buffalo State penalty killers. Ryan Miller out of the box. He's got possession of the puck just outside of the ECC blue line. He takes a hit and loses control of it. Now a loose puck is carried away in the toward the offensive zone by Shenfield. Shenfield stops to avoid a hit, but he ends up taking it from Miller, and now the two players there battling for possession along the near wall. Finally comes out into the neutral zone. Gallivan getting it there, but ECC sending it right back in again. And with 2:40 to go in the first period, it's going to be Ryan Kelly looking for a long pass into the neutral zone. He's got Schultz carrying it in. Schultz lets a shot go. That one goes high and up over the net, and then ends up coming out all the way back into the neutral zone for Captain Joe Lotempio. Lotempio spins to avoid a couple different ECC players. His pass is then gloved out of the air by Murray and then picked up by Buff State as it slid across the blue line. Now comes out to Lotempio, shot in on goal, save made by Jax. Rebound came out to the side. Oh, an opportunity there for Lotempio as he took a shot from right along the goal line, hit the post, and snuck right back out in front. Clearing attempt is successful for ECC as it comes all the way through the neutral zone and back into Buff State territory. Not far enough for icing, though, as Ryan Hahn gets it to Alex Hussey. Hussey can't get it out of the zone, though. Allen keeping it in. Allen driving in down low, though. Feeds that pass in front. Bouncing puck in front of the net. Came up into the midsection of Kumpf, and he grabbed onto that one. Now we have a little bit of an exchange in front between Brian Gorman and Ryan Hahn. Gorman was in there looking for that loose puck, hoping it would fall out to him. And obviously number 22, Ryan Hahn, not interested in seeing the ECC player that close to his goaltender, swatting at a potential loose puck. Made sure that he expressed his feelings on the subject quite well. Both players head back to their respective benches, and face-off will be coming up to the left of Evan Kumpf. It's going to be Sardina and Kinsman on that draw. Kinsman winning it, and ECC has possession in the offensive zone. Puck comes back to the point. Bielkowski keeping it in, sending it down low to Ianco. Ianco looking for a pass there as he's got it again on his stick in the far corner. Ianco carrying it out of the corner. Cross-ice pass to Kinsman. Quick one-time shot, and Kinsman right on the mark with that one as he beat Evan Kumpf across, making this one a 2-1 hockey game. Pinpoint passing there from the ECC Cats as number 27, Jeremy Ianco, made a perfect cross-crease pass to number 11, Jack Kinsman. Kinsman making no mistake and getting that shot quickly in on goal on the one-timer and just barely beating Evan Kumpf across as Kumpf tried to slide and make that stop. Unable to do so, though, and now we've got ourselves a 2-1 hockey game. ECC getting on the board with a minute 30 to go here in the first. Looking for more now as Bielkowski carries it in, takes a shot looking for high blocker side, but Evan Kumpf making the save there with the stick. Ends up coming out to Ryan Kelly now with a minute 20 in the period. Kelly carrying it through the neutral zone. He's got speed, lets a shot go in on goal. Jacks struggled to handle it there just briefly, but did manage to put the glove on top of it after the rebound was there for about a half a second. Faceoff will now be coming up to his left in the Buff State offensive zone. Elliot Hunt on for the draw. ECC winning that faceoff, however, and it's going to be Regent starting up ice. Got a man right in his face, and he circles back and sends it around behind the net. Up to Shenfield now on the far side, but Sardina on him, gets it down low into the zone. It's going to be Guerrero putting some pressure on right out in front of the net. Just went right through the skates of Elliot Hunt. He was wide open there in front of the net, just fraction off on that pass. Bengals still maintaining some pressure here in the offensive zone as Sardina is pestering Kinsman, but off into the offensive end now it's going to be Shenfield for ECC. Tries to fire a shot in on net, ends up being a pass across the crease. Now two shots taken from down low. Ianco with an opportunity there, save made by Kumpf. Now a spinning shot cleared out of danger as Guerrero carries it out of the zone with 30 seconds left in the period. Mike Guerrero gets it into the offensive end, gets it wide on the defenseman, and now is the first one to it behind the net. Looking for a pass. He's got Brennan. Brennan loads up the shot, takes it right on goal. Jack's making that save. Bengals still looking to maintain some pressure here in the offensive zone, but with 16 seconds to go in the period, ECC does manage to clear it. Comes out to Joe Lotempio just outside the blue line. Bengals looking for another opportunity before the period ends. Ends up coming through the neutral zone now with 4 seconds to go. Adam Brennan's just going to retreat in behind his own net and let the horn go to signal the end of period number 1. An exciting first period of play here from the Cheektowaga Town Rink. Buffalo State Bengals getting the game's first 2 goals. Those goals being scored by number 53, Elliot Hunt, number 53, Brett Sardina, and number 9, Elliot Hunt. Hunt used to wear 53. I should note that. Hunt has worn about 11 different numbers during his time with the Buff State Bengals. His last number was 53. He's wearing 9 right now. Got that correction made. So it's Hunt getting the second goal, Sardina getting the first one, and then for the ECC Cats, it was number 11, Jack Kinsman, getting ECC on the board. And that's how period number 1 will end, with a 2-1 score in favor of the Buffalo State Bengals. Plenty more coming up as we continue here from the Cheektowaga Town Rink. Please do stay tuned as we have continuing coverage of Buffalo State College Club hockey right here on the Buffalo State College YouTube channel. Support for Buffalo State College Club hockey comes from Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. 856-2872 or militello.com. Our coverage is brought to you by Ivy Leaf Pharmacy, a locally owned neighborhood pharmacy for over 60 years. If you're traveling to Canada, PCR COVID tests are available at Ivy Lee with a quick 1-hour turnaround. Ivy Lee is at 2446 Elmwood Avenue in Kenmore or ivyleafpharmacy.com. This broadcast brought to you by Town Auto. For over 50 years, a proud member of the Western New York community, putting customers' needs first and helping them find the right car at the right price. The dealerships of Town Auto make buying a car easy, whether online, over the phone, or in store. We love our town. Supporters include the Hurdle Parker Liquor Store, with everyday low prices on a great selection of wines and spirits, the Hurdle Parker Liquor Store on the corner of Hurdle and Parker in North Buffalo. Supporters also include the law offices of Nicholas J. Narchis, an advocate for Western New Yorkers with blue-collar roots, providing efficient and cost-effective representation from offices in Lockport and Geneseo, narchislaw.com. This broadcast is brought to you by 95 Nutrition, healthy and delicious meal prep and delivery, making it simple to live a healthy lifestyle and reach your nutritional goals. Enjoy the convenience of healthy eating with 95 Nutrition. Order online from the 8 Western New York locations for pickup or delivery. Find out more information at 95nutrition.com. And our coverage is brought to you by Envious Gameware, the official uniform supplier of Buffalo State College Club Hockey, making high-end custom team uniforms, bags, and apparel. Online, enviousgameware.com. We're going to step away now for the intermission, but we'll be back in about 15 minutes. Stay tuned. And welcome back to the Cheektowaga Town Rink as we get ready for second period action between the Buffalo State Bengals and the ECC Cats. Bengals leading this one by a score of 2-1 after one period of play. Hello, my name's Aaron Elpern. Happy to be joining you on the call of this afternoon's game between ECC and Buff State. Jeff Jazarowski, our camera operator this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us as we get ready for second period action with the Buff State Bengals leading this one by a score of 2-1. Goals by the former ECC Cat Brett Sardina, and then Elliott Hunt gave the Bengals the 2-0 lead early on here in this contest. ECC did manage to get a goal late in period number one. It was Jack Kinsman getting the goal on a pretty setup by Jeremy Ianco, making this one a 2-1 hockey game. Support for Buffalo State College Club Hockey comes from the law offices of Nicholas J. Narchis, an advocate for Western New Yorkers with blue-collar roots, providing efficient and cost-effective representation from offices in Lockport and Geneseo. Find them online, narchislaw.com. Supporters also include 95 Nutrition, healthy and delicious meal prep and delivery, making it simple to live a healthy lifestyle and reach your nutritional goals. Enjoy the convenience of healthy eating with 95 Nutrition. Order online from their 8 Western New York locations for pickup or delivery. More information can be found at 95nutrition.com. And our coverage is brought to you by Envious Gameware, the official uniform supplier of Buffalo State Club Hockey, making high-end custom team uniforms, bags, and apparel. Online, enviousgameware.com. Both teams have taken the ice for period number 2, and we're about ready to get the second stanza underway. It is the Buff State Bengals leading by a score of 2-1. Goals scored by number 53, Brett Sardina, his 12th of the season, and number 9, Elliott Hunt, his 3rd, giving the Bengals the advantage here in this game. It was Jack Kinsman scoring for ECC, the late goal in the period. As we are now underway in period number 2, the puck back into the ECC zone and sent through the neutral zone off the stick of Ryan Kelly and back deep into the Buff State territory. Kelly settling in behind his net. He spins and starts the breakout up to the right wing to Alex Gosen. Gosen then banks it off the glass, and he's got Colin Branca. Branca just a little bit of difficulty handling things there. He just sends it behind the net to Brennan. Brennan has to avoid one man there, and now he has some room to carry it up the right wing. Brennan trying to get that pass cross-ice to Miller. It hits a skate that allows Kinsman to come back in the opposite direction. That shot taken quickly in on goal, right up around the head and neck of the goaltender Kumpf, and you see the helmet coming off there as it looked like that shot caught him right in the chin area. Did make the save, did manage to hold on to keep a rebound from coming out, and the face-off will be coming up to his left in the Buff State zone as soon as they can get everything sorted with his helmet there. As he is checking the straps, making sure that everything is in order. And it appears we'll be ready to go here momentarily, as on for the face-off for ECC will be number 12, Michael Bicina, squaring off against one of the Buff State goal scorers, Elliott Hunt. Bengals winning that draw, but it comes back to the point, sent deep into the zone. As ECC keeps the pressure on here in the offensive end, but it comes out to Cole Newman, and he skates it out, getting it up to Sardina quickly. Sardina in across the blue line, tries to make a move around the defenseman, comes back to the point to Newman, right in on goal, bouncing puck. Looked like it hit a skate right in front of the net, just barely keeping it from getting to the goaltender. Bicina now back in the other direction for ECC, tries to make a move around Newman, but solid defense there, keeping that from happening. Now a loose puck just inside of the Buff State blue line as Joswiak makes sure he keeps it in. Puck then comes out right in front of the net to Eric Duma. Couldn't quite corral that one to get a shot in on goal and ends up trickling in slowly. And Evan Kumpf just jumps on top of it, stopping play briefly. 18:51 now remaining in the second period. It is a 2-1 hockey game in favor of the Buff State Bengals. Draw is won by Allen for ECC. Quick shot is taken, but it doesn't get through traffic. Ben Gallivan with an opportunity to get it out. Now he has to go back, and it's going to be Ryan Hahn trying to break it out on the far side. Man right in his hip pocket harassing him there was Murray. And now it's going to be up against the far boards. Kelly trying to break it out. He's got 2 men on him, however. And the puck comes along the goal line, and it starts up. And it's going to be Joe Tempio trying to get it out. It's just a little bit out of his reach, though, and his first attempt does not get the puck out of the zone. But then Hahn gets it out and gets it up to Gallivan. Gallivan into the offensive zone as a bouncing puck comes out. And it's cleared into center ice by Gorman. Gorman getting it up to Murray there, but it spins off of his stick, and then a puck hits the skate of Zach Schultz. And comes right out to Ben Gallivan, who tries to take it up ice here. Gallivan taking a hit right in front of our broadcast position, but he gets it deep into the offensive zone. Pass back from Schultz, and he put it right on the tape of Gallivan, but it looked like it might have rolled on him a little bit there, and that shot went well high of the net, up and out of play, and that forces a stoppage with a little bit more than 2 minutes gone here in period number 2. No score yet in this period. It's 2-1 overall. The Bengals with the lead in this contest, getting the game's first 2 goals in the first period. Captain Lotempio on for the draw, but it's going to be Kinsman winning it for ECC. ECC trying to clear it out, but that shot coming in from the right point from Brennan going just wide. Bengals still maintaining the zone here. Great play to keep it just inside the blue line there by Gallivan. Now Gallivan hunts it down in the far corner, has to sidestep a check. And now Schultz has it behind the net, tries that wraparound attempt, gets the pass right in front of the net. Now a scramble for it. Where's the puck? It must be under the goaltender. A couple of good opportunities there for the Bengals, but they couldn't get it past Jacks. And now a little bit of a discussion off to the left of the net between Gallivan and one of the ECC defensemen. Pleasantries still being exchanged between the two, as Gallivan eventually skates off toward the bench after getting his last thoughts in for his fellow number 8. Bengals completing their change. Face-off coming up in the offensive zone. Comes back to Hyde at the point. Shot in on goal. Pad save made by Jackson. It comes out to the other side. And now it's going to be setting it up as Gosen. Gosen digging it in there with his skates, trying to get it along to Branca. But carrying it out of the zone now is going to be Kinsman, the goal scorer for ECC. Now he carries it across the Buff State blue line, taking a hit there on the far wall from Brennan. Branca coming in to help Brennan out as there are 2 different ECC cats in on the forecheck. Branca then gets the puck up ice. He's got Miller. Miller coming up the near side. Miller doing a good job of shielding that puck away from defenders. He gets hauled down there. It takes it in towards the net. Ends up with both his stick and the other player's stick. And quickly in there to make sure he doesn't retaliate is Colin Branca, as he could tell that Miller was still a little bit upset about getting hauled down there on that play. Branca smartly making sure his teammate didn't have a reaction to that, and the Bengals are going to get to enjoy a power play here, as heading to the penalty box is number 23, Colin Regent. Good play there by number 16 to get that puck quickly up ice. He did a good job of maintaining possession of it and keeping it away from the ECC players as he brought it into the offensive zone. A little bit of a false start there on the draws. The Bengals were slow making their change. Eventually, Zach Schultz does come onto the ice. And we get started with the Buff State power play with just under 17 minutes to go in period number 2. Clearing attempt doesn't get past Guerrera, and Buff State sets up the power play. Shot taken from the right point by Gallivan, doesn't get through. And then a big hit there from Gorman onto Schultz allows ECC to clear the zone and kill off a little bit of time in their penalty. Back to pick it up is Gallivan. Gallivan cuts into the middle of the ice. He has a little bit of room to operate here in the neutral zone, gains the blue line, and dumps it in around behind the net. Puck rings around, and now on the stick of Sardina. Sardina goes midpoint with it. He's got Gallivan here. Gets it across to Guerrera. Guerrera looking for a pass into the slot. Quick shot taken there by Hunt, but it went just wide. Bengals still with possession of it here. 1:20 in their power play. Schultz here on the left wing wall. His pass doesn't connect, and the clearing attempt comes out to Guerrero, who keeps it in. Shot from distance. Gets behind the goaltender. It ends up in the back of the net. Number 3, Mike Guerrero, took the shot from the point. It looked like it hit a crowd there in front of the net, and I'm pretty sure it was number 44, Zach Schultz, that got the last touch on it before it ended up going into the net. Either way, it's a power play goal for the Bengals and a 3-1 lead. It was a good play, but to keep it in at the point by Guerrera. And then he got that shot in through traffic. Definitely some difficulty handling that from the goaltender, Jacks. And I believe the final credit should go to number 44, who was in front, not only setting up the screen, but there to pounce on any sort of rebounds that were there. Not sure exactly how that puck ended up getting through the goaltender. Nevertheless, though, it's a Buff State goal and a 2-goal lead for the Bengals. Bengals now looking to add to it. Sardina carrying it into the offensive zone. Gets wide on his strong side. Shot right in on goal, and a glove save made by the goaltender, Jacks. As the Bengals keep it in the offensive zone. Guerrero dumping it down deep now. Now he's got a turnover here. Winds up and takes a big shot, but it rolls on him just before he let that one go and ends up being blocked. Now a 3-on-2 possibly for ECC. Defenseman, though, trying to make a move around Hahn, though, ends up negating that odd man rush. And now the Bengals looking to come back in the other direction with some pace. It's going to be Guerrera coming in across the blue line. Feeds a pass in front of the net, looking for Elliott Hunt right there, but it was bouncing before it got to number 9. Ends up going just into the corner there, and now ECC looking to start their breakout with Duma. Doesn't get it past the defenseman. Bengals keeping it at the far point. Keeping it now at the near point is going to be Cole Newman. He lets a high shot go. It's hit with the stick of the goaltender, Jax. And now it comes back to Newman at the left point. That shot in on goal. Pad save by Jax. And then ECC clears the zone, sending it all the way back down to Buff State territory. And that will go far enough for icing. As we hit the 15-minute mark in period number 2, Bengals going to have an offensive zone faceoff coming up here to the left of the goaltender, Jax. Support for Buffalo State College Club Hockey comes from Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. Up ice for ECC now is Joswiak. Joswiak tries to make a move just inside the Buff State blue line, but loses possession of it. Now the Bengals look to start up ice. Pass is deflected through the neutral zone and deep into ECC territory, but it's going to end up going for icing, as it was deflected on the Buff State side of the red line by Ryan Miller. So the faceoff will be coming up back down in Buff State territory to the right of the goaltender, Evan Kumpf. And on for the draw it will be Branca for Buff State, squaring off against number 27, Jeremy Ienko. Ienko coming out with the puck after it's scrambled briefly, looking to wrap it around behind the net and get a pass out in front. Ends up knocking down Miller here against the near wall, and it's kept in by Regent at the point. Comes out to the far side now. Gosen slides it into the neutral zone, allowing the Buff State Bengals to clear the zone briefly. ECC firing it right back in, though, as we reach the 14:20 mark of period number 2. Buff State executing a breakout pass here. Doing pretty well with that breakout pass, keeping the passes shorter tonight than they have been in recent games. Ends up being an offsides play in the end, though, as the puck ping-ponged back and forth across the Buff State blue line. So the faceoff will be coming up just outside the Buff State blue line here on the near side with 14:09 left in the second. Loose puck is sent into the Buff State territory by Shenfield for ECC. Back behind his own net to start the breakout is Hussey. Hussey's pass goes too far, right to the defenseman, and ECC keeps it in. Puck is sent around behind the net and then shot from the right point by Regent. It missed its mark and then ends up at the left point. Shot attempt there. It doesn't get through traffic, and now Buff State with a possibility to get a breakout pass. Does end up connecting to Schultz, but he had to stop and slow down to catch it, and that kept that from being an opportunity generated for Buff State. But now they might actually have something here. That turnover there briefly, but it's a 2-on-1 in the other direction. Kinsman in, cross-ice pass. He had Ienko wide open in front of the net. Ienko tucks it into the open net, and it's now 3-2. ECC getting back to within 1 goal here, answering the Buff State goal from earlier on in this period. And it was number 27, Jeremy Ienko, the man who ended the game a week ago in the shootout. Ienko also scored a regulation goal a week ago, as he gets himself on the score sheet again here this afternoon. He has the second ECC goal, making this a 3-2 hockey game. 13:27 now remaining in the second period as the Bengals win the faceoff, and Cole Newman starts it up ice, banking it off the glass, and now Elliot Hunt's in there on the offensive zone, putting some pressure on. Hunt cycles it down low for Guerrera. Guerrera stops behind the net and takes a hit. As the puck is fed up the far wall, Sardina getting in the way of his man there and keeping it in the offensive end. Behind the net, it's Sardina. Sardina sets it up, gets it back to the point to Newman. Newman looking for a shooting lane, gets that through, but it ends up going just wide and off the backboards. Bengals still finding possession of it here. Newman doing a good job keeping it at the left point. That shot comes in on goal. Pad save made by the goaltender, Jax. Newman again with the puck here at the left point. Just fanned on that one now. Has to be careful as it's going to be Allen breaking back in the other direction. Allen coming in towards the net. Good defensive play by Newman. Newman put a lot of harassment on Allen there, making sure he didn't have a clean look, but he did just not enough to draw a penalty on that play, as a little bit of a dangerous break there for number 9, Jacob Allen. Back in the ECC zone, dangerously carried in front of the net. Sardina with the turnover there, and end up fired right in on goal. Now we have a collision here to the side of the net, as Guerrera and Hunt are both involved with altercations right now, and we have 2 different scraps going on. As Guerrera's tied up with one man, Hunt's tied up with a different player. Newman is in there late with the man behind the net. And eventually the referees do manage to separate the players. Still a couple of guys engaged there as it's Sardina and Gorman still unwilling to finish things here. As eventually they do separate and Sardina heads back toward his bench. Actually heading toward the penalty box. And now we'll have to wait and see how these penalties end up being sorted here, as there was an awful lot of activity taking place in a very short amount of time. Awful lot for the referees to keep track of there, as there was more than a few incidences going on there to the left of the ECC goal. Referees are now over in the half circle in front of the scorer's box, and they're going to have to take some time here to figure out exactly what they're calling here on this play. There's a conversation going on between the one linesman and the Buff State bench, trying to figure out what the concept there is. There is one player in the penalty box for Buff State. It appears there are two players currently in the box for ECC, as now Elliot Hunt climbs into the box for Buff State. Looks like they might be going for the simplest call of that possible here and giving coincidental penalties to each side and having them skate even strength, but that's just a guess at this moment. We are at the 12:16 mark of the second period. It's a 3-2 Buff State lead here in this game. Buff State getting the first two goals of the game. It was Sardina and Hunt scoring in period number one, but it was Jack Kinsman getting on the board for ECC before the end of the period. Bengals added a power play goal, as we believe it was Zach Schultz getting credit for it. Might have ended up going to Guerrera on the point shot. Either way, one of the two of them ended up with the goal, giving Buff State the 3-1 lead, but that was answered by number 27, Jeremy Ianco, getting the Cats' second goal and making this one a 2-1 hockey game, or 3-2 hockey game, rather. Well, it appears the refs had the same thought that I expected them to have. Just gave matching minor penalties to a pair of Cats and a pair of Bengals. And we skate 5-on-5 here as we get restarted, approaching the 12-minute mark of period number two. Back into the neutral zone, Adam Brennan with the puck on his stick. Feeds a pass up the near boards, but it doesn't connect with Lotempio. Now back in the other direction for ECC. ACC can't maintain possession through the neutral zone, and it's sent back in by Buff State, but it is just from the Buff State side of the red line. And that's going to be called an icing on the play, as that's the second time this officiating crew has been very tight with those icing calls. As second time the Bengals have touched the puck, sent it in from just barely on their side of the red line, but it's still been called an icing. And so now the faceoff coming up to the left of Evan Kumpf results in a quick shot there by Joswiak. Kumpf handling that one, making the save, covering up, making sure there's no rebound. And Buff State gets the benefit of a stoppage here, and they get to make a change of their forward lines, getting three new forwards out there with Branca, Miller, and Gosen coming out for this faceoff. Branca and Bicina on this draw. Branca winning that one, and it comes out to Adam Brennan, who carries it through the neutral zone. Brennan into the offensive zone, getting it deep with pressure both in front and behind him. Quickly played in front of the net. It was pinned there by the goaltender up against the post. One Bengals slid in there to get a poke at it, couldn't get it free. Eventually gets a whistle and a stoppage in play with 11:38 now remaining in the period. Bengals going to have an offensive zone draw here to the blocker hand side of the goaltender, Jake Jacks. Bengals leading this one by a 3-2 count. Branca on for the draw against Kinsman. Draw is played over here to the near boards, and Miller plays it from his knees, getting it deep into the zone. That gives ECC a chance to grab possession of it and start their breakout. High floating pass through the neutral zone, ends up on Ryan Hahn's stick. Hahn then gives it to Newman, then quickly up ice to Miller. Miller gains the blue line, gets it to Branca. Branca losing control of it as it slides in towards the slot, but the ECC now carrying it out with Regent. Regent with a little bit of difficulty maintaining the puck on his stick there, did manage to find it, send it into the offensive zone. Alex Gosen trying to start the breakout now from the far side. That pass doesn't connect in the neutral zone. Gosen with another chance to get it out, but there's going to be a penalty called here, as the back referee, I believe, was calling something there. Actually, not sure exactly what this call is. Neither referee is heading toward the box. And the faceoff is going to be coming up inside the Buff State territory. So, just an unknown stoppage in play at the 11-minute mark. Hand pass, maybe, is what we're guessing here in our makeshift press box. as Buff State wins the draw and quickly gets it up ice. Gallivan now hunting down a puck here just inside the ECC zone. Region, though, trying to make sure he doesn't have any sort of offensive opportunity there, though. Region just slows it down and makes sure he has a little bit of a lane. Had two different Bengals pressuring him. Did manage to clear the zone, but he's going to have to head back for it now behind his own net as Cole Newman sent it in quickly. Puck up the near side. Duma's pass doesn't get through traffic. Now the Bengals with an opportunity to keep it in. Lotempio's pass doesn't hit its mark, though, and back in the opposite direction is going to be ECC breaking it in. Quickly played out of the zone by Hahn, and the Cats have to tag up before they can bring it back in. It's Murray carrying it in now. Gets it down low to Allen. Allen just losing control of that one as it heads in behind the net. Eric Duma with it here. Gets it back to the point. Shot taken off the glove of Evan Kumpf, making that save. Unable to corral the rebound, though, as it comes back to the point to Logan. Logan fires that shot in on goal again. Another block there from the Bengals, and they manage to clear the zone. And Region heads back into his own territory, trying to get away from Lotempio and Gallivan. Puck is played up ice as Newman gets dumped just inside of his own blue line. Puck comes out to Murray, drives in towards the net, fires a shot, doesn't get through traffic. Ryan Hahn getting the block on that one. Murray keeping possession of it, though, but feeding it back to the point, and nobody there as they were making a change. Schultz coming back in the opposite direction. Can't get that pass across, though, before Allen gets on him quickly. Almost a 2-on-1 there for the Bengals, just not fast enough to make it work out for them. And then settling it down here is going to be number 28, Haken Logan. That pass is intercepted as Ryan Miller steps into a passing lane. Now brings it into the offensive zone, lets a shot go. He's looking for that top side corner near side. Unable to get it there, but a good play by Hussey to keep it in for the Bengals. Hussey ends up on his knees, skating into the zone, and his defensive partner's all the way back alone in his own zone, but quickly getting it up to Miller did Ryan Kelly. Now the Bengals with a chance here in front of the net. Shot in front from just on point-blank range, but it rolls just wide off the stick of Colin Branca. Puck comes back to the point now. Ryan Kelly with it here at the near point. Winds up with a slap shot, but it doesn't get through traffic. And a good play here by Kelly to make sure that ECC couldn't clear the zone, as there was an ECC forward streaking into the neutral zone looking for that breakout pass. Kelly, however, wasn't going to let that puck come out past his left point position. ECC does manage to break it out with Kinsman. Kinsman now looking for a return pass as he got it across ice to Ianco. It doesn't quite get there. Good defense by the Bengals to make sure they had that back pressure in their own zone, keeping that transition play from resulting in a shot on goal. ECC getting the hold of the puck in the neutral zone, sending it back down deep in Buff State territory now with 8:20 to go in the second period. Bengals with the puck through the neutral zone. Gosen with it there, losing control, and Kinsman comes back in the other direction. Gets it to Ianco. Ianco rips that hard snapshot, and he beats up Evan Kumpf up over the shoulder, making this one a 3-3 hockey game. Jeremy Ianco, with his second goal of the period, has tied things up at 3 between the Buff State Bengals and the ECC Cats. Number 27, Jeremy Ianco, was certainly a player that victimized the Bengals a week ago. Scored a third-period goal and then the deciding goal in the shootout. He's got 2 goals here in period number 2, and he's got his ECC Cats into a tie game here. It's 3-3 from the Cheektowaga Town Rink. Cats bringing it back into the zone now with Mohawk. Pass in front of the net doesn't find its mark, and it's going to be Ryan Hahn coming back in the opposite direction. Hahn gaining the zone and laying his man out. Allen tried to step into him, but got way the worst of that exchange. Bengals keeping it in on the far side, as it's Newman doing battle with a couple of different Cats over there. Gets it to Guerrera. Guerrera's backhand pass doesn't find Elliott Hunt in the slot. Now it's going to be Murray carrying it out. Murray makes a move to get it through the skates of Newman. Now lets a shot go. Save made by Evan Kumpf. It goes off into the near corner. And then we're going to have a penalty taken as Cole Newman hit a man from behind in the far corner. There was a little bit of retaliation there from the ECC player. We'll see if they call just the first penalty to Newman or whether or not there's a second call. Actually might be a third one here in as the referee blew his whistle and pointed back at Elliott Hunt. Busy moment there for the men in stripes, as they're apparently going to be making 3 different calls here. I think the Bengals were going to get the break there and get the retaliatory call there against ECC. But whatever the exchange that was happening there afterward is where number 9, Elliott Hunt, ended up picking up a penalty himself. Be interested to see whether or not there's any power play advantage coming out of this. We'll have to wait until after the discussion there between the referees and the captains. But while we have a moment here, our coverage is brought to you by Ivy Lee Pharmacy, a locally owned neighborhood pharmacy for over 60 years. If you're traveling to Canada, PCR COVID tests are available at Ivy Lee with a quick 1-hour turnaround. Ivy Lee Pharmacy, 2446 Elmwood Avenue in Kenmore, or online, ivyleepharmacy.com. Support for Buffalo State Club hockey also comes from Town Auto. For over 50 years, a proud member of the Western New York community, putting customers' needs first and helping them find the right car at the right price. The dealerships of Town Auto make buying a car easy, whether online, over the phone, or in store. We love our town. All right, so taking a look at the scoreboard now, we have 2 minutes up on each side, both for the visiting team and for the home team. Not quite certain what that means as the second guest penalty goes up, and I'm guessing the Bengals are going to have to kill off a penalty here. And based on the personnel on the ice, I think I am correct. No, I'm not, because there are only 4 ECC Cats out there. I thought this was going to be a 5-on-4 for ECC, as there are 2 different Buff State penalties up on the board, and only 1 for ECC. But it looks like we're going to be 4-on-4. Maybe a little bit of a break for the Bengals here, as I'm guessing the second penalty to Buff State just ended up as a misconduct. So we're 4-on-4 here as we get restarted. Bouncing puck at the blue line. Dangerous play there as Joe Lotempio was right on Colin Region there at the blue line. But Region did manage to avoid any sort of dangerous play there as he now heads back into his own zone looking to start the breakout. Gets it up to the far side. Ianco with some space there. Cross ice pass to Kinsman into the offensive zone. Kinsman in towards the net, make a move to the backhand. Just couldn't quite corral it to make that second move and get that shot in on goal. And another opportunity there to quickly get it in on goal, and Kumpf making the save on that one. Shot from the point from Region. Kumpf making the pad save. A shooting gallery now in the Buff State zone as the Cats are firing shots from distance one after another. Puck sent down low, but Kinsman unable to handle that pass, and now comes back to the point. Rolling puck kept in by Region. Kinsman now with the puck on his stick in the circle. Kinsman breaks out from the corner, gets it to the point to Region, but a Buff State player right on him there, and stick on puck from Brennan. Puck ends up going up and out of play, and we'll have a stoppage with 6:24 left in the second period. It's a 3-3 hockey game between ECC and Buff State. And the face-off will be coming up in the Bengals zone to the left of the goaltender, Evan Kumpf. It's going to be Allen and Sardina on for the draw here. Allen winning that draw cleanly, back to the point. Shot taken, doesn't get through, and now the Bengals have a chance to break it out. Gallivan on the far side has a step on a defender, carries it into the offensive zone on the backhand to the forehand, and he shoots and scores! Number 8, Ben Gallivan with a great individual effort through the neutral zone into the offensive end. Managed to make the move and get that shot past the goaltender before the net came off. Number 8, Ben Gallivan has the Bengals with the 4th goal of the game, his 13th of the season. The Bengals take the 4-3 lead on the goal by number 8, Ben Gallivan. Kind of an underrated play there in the Buff State defensive zone, as Alex Hussey did a good job of quickly making sure that puck got up ice. He could have taken a little bit more time on that one and made sure he got it onto his forehand, but he just played it quickly with the backhand, got it into the neutral zone, and then from there it was Ben Gallivan doing the rest, taking it in toward the net, using that lane that he was given by the defenseman, and he made a nice move to finish and give the Buff State Bengals the lead. Shot taken quickly there as Sardina carried into the zone. Missed the net wide, and now a shot from the near point from Hussey goes wide as well. Kept in on the right side there, the right point by Kelly. He takes a shot from the top of the circle. It is caught by the goaltender, Jax. Looked like the goaltender had a thought about playing it there, but ended up keeping it in his glove, holding on for a whistle. 5:51 now remaining in period number 2. And the faceoff is going to be on the far circle there in the offensive zone for Buff State. Bengals trying to get a late change in there. The official tells them that that will not be allowed, and Gallivan has to stay on the ice. As ECC wins the draw, and it's Colin Region looking to start the breakout. Gets it quickly up to Kinsman in the neutral zone. Kinsman connects on a pass to Ianco. Ianco carries it in, but he's got Sardina right in his hip pocket. Pass back to the point. Shot taken there by Bielkowski, goes wide and off the glass, and it comes out to the near point where Region tries to fire it in on net. It gets deflected on its way through, though, and ends up in the protective netting behind the Buff State goal. And we'll have a stoppage with just 3 seconds remaining in the coincidental minors. and 5 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in second period action. Faceoff is won by ECC, played forward by Kinsman, couldn't maintain possession to get a shot off, and now the penalties expire as Miller comes out of the box and he's got a breakaway, comes in on net, but he's just harassed enough by Region to keep him from getting a shot in on goal. Bengals then quickly making a change after that penalty expired, and looked like Miller was going to get a breakaway out of that opportunity, but now they could have a chance here as it's Guerrero carrying it in, backhand pass doesn't connect across in front of the net, but the Bengals keep it deep in the zone. Guerrero taking a shot from along the goal line. It pops out in front, and Miller unable to get to that one before ECC cleared it off to the sideboards. Through center ice now it is Shenfield. Shenfield gets taken off that one by Guerrero, and now Miller gets knocked down at the top of the circle. That allows Kinsman to carry it in towards the net, but Shenfield losing control of it there, and Buff State settles it down and flips it through the neutral zone. Bit of a dangerous puck there right along the ECC blue line. The ECC defender doing a good job of making sure he gloved it down and then played it up ice. And that allows Colin Region, his defensive partner, to carry it in and fire a shot into the far corner. Schultz gets knocked down by his man on the far side, but the puck comes out to Lotempio, and Lotempio comes up ice with some speed, gets around one man, takes a hit there on the far boards, gets it in behind the net where Gallivan picks it up. Gallivan comes out from below the goal line, spins and sends it back down low to Lotempio. And now back out in front of the net. Gallivan just couldn't quite get to that one, but Alex Hussey lets that slap shot go. It hit a body before it got to the net and comes out to the near point where Ryan Kelly dumps it back in. Schultz gives it quickly to Gallivan. Gallivan getting it out in front of the net. Backhand shot by Lotempio goes wide. Now it comes out to the far point where Hussey was quickly there to keep it in, but we have a whistle going for the net coming off. And the referee slides in to put the net back onto its moorings, and we'll have a face-off coming up inside the ECC defensive zone with 3:49 now left in the period, as an ECC player has taken a penalty here in the process. It is a tripping call, and if I'm not mistaken, that was well after the play and just as the guy was skating off the ice taking down Joe Lotempio. If I'm correct there, that's a silly penalty for ECC to take down a goal, but a good break for the Buff State Bengals as they get to enjoy a man advantage here with under 4 minutes to go in the second period, trying to stretch their 4-3 lead here as they get the power play unit out there as Schultz putting some pressure on in the far corner. Help from Sardina, and it's back to the point to Gallivan. Gallivan and Sardina playing catch on the far side, shot right in on goal, save made by Jax. It comes out to the near side, and Guerrero sets it up yet again. Guerrero to Gallivan, shot from the point, goes wide and off the glass, and it comes back out to Guerrero here at the near point. He's got a man on him as he sets things up and looks for a pass. Winding up, feeding it along to Lotempio. Lotempio gets it across to Gallivan. Gallivan has to settle that one down and then feeds it down on the sideboards to Sardina. Sardina in behind the net to Schultz. Schultz back to the point to Guerrero with 1:20 in the Buff State power play. Shot taken by Gallivan. That one gets through right into the goaltender, but he makes the save. ECC defenseman clearing it out of danger and back into Buff State territory. Gallivan going back there for it now. Circling in behind his net with 1:10 left in the Buff State power play. Gallivan trying to get around his man there on the far side, losing control of it, but Lotempio picks it up and gets it around to the near side to Guerrero. Guerrero settling it down and finding Gallivan along the blue line. Gallivan winding it up, gaining the red line, dumping it into the offensive zone. Comes all the way to the far side to Sardina. Sardina feeding it down low to Schultz. Schultz has a man on him there, but he carries it out of the corner, now looking for a pass. Schultz stopping on the far side, goes cross ice to Guerrero. Guerrero winds up, takes a big slap shot. Save made by Jackson, then it comes quickly out in front of the net. Buff State unable to quite get to that one and get that second opportunity on goal. But Evan Kumpf quickly playing it up ice for Buff State, and Guerrero takes it back into the offensive zone quickly. Guerrero in towards the net, lets that shot go, but just misses the net wide as he made a move to get himself free of the defenseman. Great play there by Cole Newman here at the near point to keep it in. Fortunately, Guerrero losing control of it there as he tried to set himself up for a shot. ECC clearing it with 9 seconds to go in their penalty. Cole Newman in behind his own net, starts the breakout up the near side, but his pass doesn't connect and sent right back in by Bielkowski. And that should kill off the last moments of the ECC penalty. ECC returning to even strength here as Buffalo State looks to move it out of their zone with Ryan Miller. Miller goes long, cross ice to Gallivan. Gallivan into the offensive zone with speed, but good defense there by Bielkowski to knock it off of his stick before he got in towards the net. Ienko now starting the breakout for ECC. His pass goes off the stick of Shenfield. Then it is played into the ECC zone by Brennan. Brennan now has the puck with a little bit of space. Lets that shot go through traffic. Looked like it changed directions on the goaltender, Jacks. Did manage to hold on to it, keeping track of that shot all the way through, making the save with the catching glove and holding on for a whistle. Minute 15 now remaining here in the second period. Still a 4-3 hockey game. The Buff State Bengals out in front in this game. As the faceoff will be in the offensive zone for Buff State. On the far side, it's going to be Ienko and Lotempio. Ienko winning the draw, getting it back to Region, and Region just sends it all the way down through the ice and all the way back into Buff State territory. Not sure exactly what he saw on that play. Maybe a little bit of a miscommunication with his winger, but a pretty clear icing play. And Buff State again gets the offensive zone draw, this time on the other side, on the near side to the blocker hand side of the goalie, Jake Jacks. It's going to be Lotempio and Kinsman on the draw. Linesman finally ready to drop the puck, and Lotempio wins it cleanly back to the point. Quick shot taken by Newman, just misses the top corner high. As the Bengals keep it moving in the offensive zone, Hager and Lotempio down there with some pressure down low. ECC with a chance to get it out of their zone, but they don't connect on that pass, and then Buff State just sends it right back in with 50 seconds remaining in the second. Colin Region with the breakout pass, gets it up to Shenfield. Shenfield then gets it to Kinsman, and the ECC Cats come through the neutral zone. Shenfield on the puck quickly in the offensive corner there on the near side. His centering pass doesn't find its mark, and then the clearing attempt by Newman ends up out of play, so we have a stoppage with 32 seconds now left in the second period. Bengals making a couple of changes. ECC also putting some new personnel out there for the last 32 seconds. As on for the draw will be Allen, the two number 9s, Allen and Hunt. Allen winning that faceoff, but it's going to be Ryan Miller getting possession of the puck and carrying it through the neutral zone, gaining the blue line, trying to make a move around the one defenseman. Does keep possession of it, gets it in towards the net, lets that shot go. The goaltender doesn't know exactly where it is. He's got it wrapped up in his body somewhere. Does manage to make that save, keep that individual effort from resulting in a goal, but a good scoring opportunity created by Ryan Miller there as he got wide on the defenseman and then drove in along the goal line and got that shot in on goal. Taking another shot there, a little bit of difficulty again by the goaltender Jackson handling that, but ECC does manage to get the puck out of their zone with Isaac Murray. Murray couldn't gain the blue line though, and they could have had some pace there and some speed with some odd man numbers there, but a good defensive play by the Bengals to keep them from gaining the zone, and that's how period number 2 will end, with the puck pinned to the backboards in the Buff State territory. And the horn does go, signaling the end of period number 2. And through 40 minutes of play, it is a 4-3 lead for the Buffalo State Bengals. ECC getting on the board there in that period. Getting 2 goals in that period, actually. It was 2 goals scored by number 27, Jeremy Ienko. As Buff State came into the period with a 2-1 lead. Buff State answering, though, as Gallivan getting the most recent goal to put the Bengals up by a score of 4-3. As we get ready for third period action now, the team's headed off the ice as we are ready for the ice to be resurfaced, and then we'll get ready for third period play here from the Cheektowaga Town Rink. It is the final game of the first semester for the Buffalo State Bengals as they look to improve their record. They come into this game with a record of 8-3-1, and looking to improve on that here today as they have a 4-3 lead over the ECC Cats through 2 periods of play. Support for Buffalo State College Club hockey comes from Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. 856-2872 or militello.com. Our coverage is brought to you by Ivy Leaf Pharmacy, a locally owned neighborhood pharmacy for over 60 years. If you're traveling to Canada, PCR COVID tests are available at Ivy Lee with a quick 1-hour turnaround. Ivy Lee is at 2446 Elmwood Avenue in Kenmore or ivyleepharmacy.com. This broadcast brought to you by Town Auto. For over 50 years, a proud member of the Western New York community, putting customers' needs first and helping them find the right car at the right price. The dealerships of Town Auto make buying a car easy, whether online, over the phone, or in store. We love our town. Supporters include the Hurdle Parker Liquor Store, With everyday low prices on a great selection of wines and spirits, the Hurdle Parker Liquor Store on the corner of Hurdle and Parker in North Buffalo. Supporters also include the law offices of Nicholas J. Narchis, an advocate for Western New Yorkers with blue-collar roots, providing efficient and cost-effective representation from offices in Lockport and Geneseo, narchislaw.com. This broadcast is brought to you by 95 Nutrition. Healthy and delicious meal prep and delivery, making it simple to live a healthy lifestyle and reach your nutritional goals. Enjoy the convenience of healthy eating with 95 Nutrition. Order online from the 8 Western New York locations for pickup or delivery. Find out more information at 95nutrition.com. And our coverage is brought to you by Envious Gameware, the official uniform supplier of Buffalo State College Club Hockey, making high-end custom team uniforms, bags, and apparel online, enviousgameware.com. We're going to step away now for the intermission, but we'll be back in about 15 minutes. Stay tuned. And welcome back to the Cheektowaga Town Rink as we are getting ready for third period play between the Buffalo State Bengals and the ECC Cats. After 2 periods of play, it is a 4-3 Buffalo State lead. Bengals getting 2 goals in each period. In the first period, it was number 53, Brett Sardina, scoring the game's first goal, followed up by a goal by number 9, Elliott Hunt. ECC added a goal there in period number 1. It was number 11, Jack Kinsman, getting the first Cat goal tonight. Then both teams scored twice in period number 2. It was Zach Schultz getting the goal for Buff State on the power play and a scramble in front of the net. And then Ben Gallivan getting the 4th Buff State goal of this afternoon's game. On the other side of things, it was number 27, Jeremy Ianco, scoring twice for ECC in the second period. That's how we got to our current 4-3 score through 40 minutes of play as we get ready for third period action. Both teams have taken the ice, and we're about ready to get started here with the last 20 minutes from the Cheektowaga Town Rink. Thanks for joining us. My name is Aaron Elpern, alongside camera operator Jeff Jazarowski. Very pleased to be bringing you this afternoon's game, the last game of the first semester for the Buffalo State Bengals. We're underway in the third as Zach Schultz intercepts a pass. Joe Lotempio dumps it into the offensive zone just 10 seconds into the period. In behind his own net is Bielkowski starting the breakout for ECC, but making a good play there on the back pressure is Joe Lotempio to keep it deep in the zone. Zach Schultz now keeping it moving, gets it back to Brennan. Brennan lets a shot go, but that hits a stick just on its way through. That gives ECC a chance to come out of their zone with speed. Allen coming in towards the net, lets that shot go. Save made by Evan Kumpf. Puck comes around to the far side. Bengals trying to break it out. Joe Lotempio managing to get it across ice and through the neutral zone. Ends up just inside the ECC blue line. And then the Cats turn it over at the Buff State blue line. Branca trying to get that through the neutral zone. Does get it up ahead to Miller. Miller carrying it in, lets the shot go. Comes out to Branca, shot right in on goal. Save made as it hit the goaltender in the pads and then slid out to the side of the net. Bengals unable to keep that moving, and now the Cats come back in the other direction, looking to create something, but that bouncing puck doesn't stay on the Cats' stick, and their defenseman has to slide in on the play. Brombus dumping it deep into the zone. A little bit more than a minute gone here in the third period, as the Bengals break it out up the near side here. Brombus, though, getting in the way there in the neutral zone, sending it back toward the Buff State blue line, but it's Alex Gosen getting in the way here right up against the glass, right in front of our broadcast position. And in the other direction now, it's going to be Mohawk for ECC. Puck comes off the far boards. That allows Galvin to put some pressure on there in the offensive zone. Lays a hit against Kinsman there against the far boards. Kinsman maintains his footing, now carries it out of the zone. Kinsman gets it into the offensive end now. Some numbers for ECC. Shot taken, shoulder save made by Evan Kumpf. The rebound comes all the way out to the near point. Puck comes again to the near point. That one is taken. It hits Cole Newman on its way through the process. And Newman manages to clear the zone. And ECC tries to send it right back into Buff State territory, but it is a rolling puck as it is hit there. It ends up in the Buff State bench. And we're going to have a whistle face-off with 18 minutes exactly left in the third period. Face-off coming directly across from where we are broadcasting this game from, up in the stands here of the Cheektowaga Town Rink. Right along the blue line there, the face-off is taken. Bengals playing it forward, comes back into the Buff State zone. Now Ryan Kelly starts the breakout. Off the boards and sent right back in by ECC as Alex Hussey has to retreat back into his own zone. He's got some pressure on him, but some help from Joe Lotempio to get it out. Lotempio and Hussey battling against two different ECC players there in the corner. Lotempio gets taken down on the play. Puck comes out towards the net, goes off the side of it. And now Hussey looks to get it out here on the near side. Does manage to do so. Now a possibility for Galvin. Galvin gets behind the defender, gets to that loose puck, but he lets a backhand shot go, and it just misses that near post wide. Still in the offensive zone, though, for Buff State. It's Zach Schultz in behind the net. Schultz with it on his backhand, feeds the pass back to Hussey. Hussey through traffic. That one's deflected by Lotempio, but the deflection goes just wide. Lotempio has it again, now cutting towards the slot, tries to feed it down low to Schultz, but that one hit a stick on its way through. Good defense, but a good play there by Lotempio to intercept that pass and keep it moving. Now a shot from a tough angle from Schultz, hits the goaltender in the side and then ends up in behind the net. They are just under the 17-minute mark of the third period as the Bengals are putting some pressure on here in the ECC zone. The Cats do manage to clear it, and it's by Cena coming in toward the offensive end. Tries to make a move to get himself free of the Buff State defenders, but they squeeze him off there well, make sure he doesn't get a shot in on goal. Galvin trying to get it out. Sardina has to slide in and help out. It does come across the Buff State blue line. Sardina now starting up ice, getting it to Kelly. Kelly just dumps it into the offensive zone and puts some pressure on himself. He beats the defenseman in a race for that puck there, and he's doing a good job here with the forecheck. Now McFadden over to help out. It's three different ECC Cats being required to get that puck away from two different Buff State players. Guerrero over there watching things. As the puck finally does pop out of there, actually it gets frozen yet again, and finally then comes out, and then settled by Regent in behind his own net. Regent slows it down as we hit the 16-minute mark. Long pass through the neutral zone, knocked out of the air by Murray and into the offensive zone. Murray drops a pass for Allen. Save made by Evan Kumpf as that was right in on goal. Blocker save made. Now back to the point. It's going to be Bielkowski letting that shot go. Gets deflected on its way through. That ends up wide and in behind the net. Brennan keeping an eye on Murray, who tries to cut towards the net. But a good play by Guerrero to remove him from that puck. And now Sardina comes in with some late pressure to make sure that puck gets into center ice. Guerrero gains the zone. Hard cross-ice pass to Brennan. Brennan tries to get a quick shot in on goal, but it misses the far post. And then Guerrero with a quick turnaround slap shot. Goaltender might not have been ready for that one, and he probably should have been because Guerrero got an awful lot on it, and it beat the goaltender, making this one a 5-3 hockey game. Bengals now establishing a little bit more control over this lead here in the third period, as it was Mike Guerrera picking up his second goal in as many games, the fifth one for the Bengals here this afternoon. Key goal there for Buff State to open up a 2-goal advantage. Guerrera getting credit for the unassisted goal as we hear the announcement over the public address system there, as the Bengals are called for an icing play right off of the faceoff after the goal. So as they have just opened up this 5-3 lead, faceoff will come back down into Buffalo State territory to the glove hand side of the goaltender, Evan Kumpf. Adam Brennan ending up picking up an assist on the Guerrera goal as they make a correction there, and Buffalo State again is guilty of icing the puck. So we are at 15:01 in the third period. It's a 5-3 lead for the Buffalo State Bengals, but again they have a defensive zone draw coming up here to the blocker hand side this time of Kumpf, and it's going to be Ianco and Sardina on for the faceoff. Draw is scrambled, and Shenfield picks it up for the Cats. Gets it to Ianco right out in front of the net, and it's put home. Kinsman right there in front of the net. He had so much room to make that happen that he ended up just kind of incidentally putting it into the net. It almost seemed like he fanned on that catch of the pass, but in the process, the puck ended up going forward and into the net. It was such a good setup that he couldn't even screw it up. Jack Kinsman has his second goal of the game, and ECC is back within one. It's a 5-4 hockey game. Jeremy Ianco setting that one up with the cross-crease pass. Number 27 having another solid game for the ECC Cats. He had 2 goals in the second period, and he's got an assist here on the 4th ECC goal. He's got the puck on his stick again as he carries it through the neutral zone. Ianco going wide, tries to feed it in towards the net, but it hits the side of the net. And now a couple of Bengals on the far side trying to get that puck out of the zone. Shot is taken from the point, handled by the stick of the goaltender Kumpf. And now Gosen trying to make something happen and getting it out of the zone, but it's kept in at the near point by Brombus. Brombus across to Kinsman. Kinsman settles it down, cycles it in behind the net. He has Ianco there. Ianco then looking for a pass out in front of the net, changed directions and tried to go to the other side. Just couldn't connect with his man Shenfield there in front. Cats, though, keeping it in as Kelly tries to feed it around behind the net and get it up to Gosen here on the near side. Gosen has to take it off for defenseman's stick. Good work there. And then he gets it up to Miller. Miller into the offensive zone, just on his own at this point. Gosen trailing the play late. Couple of Bengals making changes. Comes across to Gosen, fires a shot in on goal. Shoulder save made by Jax as he came well out to cut off the angle. Puck comes back out to Brennan at the point. His shot gets deflected and then hits the far post. Good shot there by number 88, firing it through traffic and putting a lot on it. Almost beating the goaltender. He actually did beat the goaltender, just couldn't beat the iron there, as the Bengals do manage to do a good job of keeping it in. Comes out to Gallivan. Gallivan tries to make a move to cut in towards the center of the ice, but Kinsman takes it off of his stick and carries it out himself. Kinsman into the offensive zone, tries to fire a shot, and that one hit the foot of Cole Newman, as Newman had positioned himself well to get in between the shooter and the net. Goes off of Newman's foot, then up and out of play. And we'll have a faceoff coming up with 13:16 to go in the third period. It's a narrow 1-goal lead for the Buffalo State Bengals. Bicina and Lotempio on for this draw. Lotempio plays it forward, but it comes back to the ECC defenseman. Quickly in on goal. Rebound opportunity. Finally cleared out of there by Buff State. Then into center ice where Mohawk goes back for it for ECC. Comes across to Joswiak, but he can't get past the Buff State defenseman. Plays it into center ice where Joe Lotempio intercepts a pass. Lotempio then drops a pass there for Gallivan. Gallivan just couldn't handle that one as it was in his skates. And now it's going to be in the other direction. Gorman avoids a hit, but it looks like a Buff State player is down here in the high slot. I think it's Cole Newman, and it looks like he is grabbing his shoulder, as I think he either ran into his own player or possibly the ECC player, but it was awkward contact, and he went down immediately, and he seems to be in an awful lot of pain right now. His teammates gathering around him. Joe Lotempio on one knee. looking there after his teammate, who clearly went to the ice in a lot of discomfort as Newman is splayed out across the Buffalo ice there, the Buff State zone, clearly in a lot of pain. Trainer has come off the bench to attend to him as well, as Newman is face down on the ice after that collision there in the high slot. The very first moments afterward, it looked like he was grasping for his right shoulder. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself and speculate too much of what might have happened there. But just based on his reaction, how quickly he went to the ice, and the fact that he's still down on the ice and quite clearly in a lot of pain, this is certainly a situation that we're concerned about for number 29, Cole Newman. Assistant coach Pat Krebs out there attending to him as well, as Newman rolls over onto his backside and then gets up into a seated position. And if they're worried about his shoulder here, they're going to be very careful about how they get him back up to his feet and make sure that they don't add to whatever happened. As they get him back to his skates, they're going to help him off the ice there, as the trainer is there alongside him, Captain Joe Lotempio, also assisting his teammate off the ice. And back to the Buff State dressing room, where hopefully he can get some treatment and be back to full strength before too long. So to reset now, we have 12:44 remaining in the third period. It's still a one-goal hockey game, 5-4 in favor of Buffalo State. And the faceoff's going to be in the Buff State zone to the right of Evan Kumpf. Bengals winning that draw. Elliot Hunt's got the puck here on the near wall. Gets it to Sardina. Sardina wraps it around behind the net, and Guerrero plays it out into center ice. ECC quickly sending it right back in as we are at the 12:30 mark of the period. Right back up into the neutral zone. It's going to be Guerrero taking into the offensive zone. Guerrero losing that puck as he had three different ECC players on him. And then it's right there along the ECC blue line. Sardina finally pulls it out of the pile and comes into the zone with some speed. Sardina gets it across. He's got Elliot Hunt, who's got to reposition himself to make sure he can handle that one. Gets it to Guerrero. Guerrero making a move on his man just inside the blue line. Does manage to get past the one player, but it's a second ECC defender that manages to get the puck off of his stick and send it back to Buff State territory, where it's Alex Hussey starting the breakout. Hussey comes up to the near boards with it, and he's got Elliot Hunt here, but that pass doesn't connect. Bengals now trying to settle that one down and finally get it out into the neutral zone, but it is fired into the roof of the building. And with that, we have a stoppage in play and a face-off coming up inside the Buff State territory. 11:46 now remaining in the third period. We have a tight one-goal hockey game here between the ECC Cats and the Buff State Bengals. Bengals leading by a score of 5-4. Isaac Murray on for the draw, winning it cleanly for ECC. The shot from Allen right in on goal. Save made by Evan Kumpf there, but it's Murray with the rebound, quickly getting a second shot in on goal. Kumpf making that save. It's up against the pad of the goaltender. And then finally the whistle goes as he had it covered there on the far side. Bengals getting that much-needed stoppage, as we're going to have a face-off then on the far side in the offensive zone for ECC with 11:34 to go in the period. Another clean win for ECC on the draw. That one's through traffic, gets deflected, but Kumpf gets enough of it to keep it from going into the net, and it goes off to the side, just wide. Now here in the near corner as Kelly tries to start it out up the far side. Ryan Miller with the puck, tries to bank it off the boards to get it out of the zone. Region keeping it in. The rolling puck as he took that shot goes just wide. Now some room for the Bengals to get it out. Branca carrying it through center ice as an ECC defenseman falls. Branca into the offensive zone, takes a hit as he drops it back for Gosen. Gosen pinning it to the boards just inside the blue line, getting some help from Kelly to keep it in. Gosen again with the puck on his stick. Cross-ice pass. He's got Miller wide open. Great save, but a rebound opportunity is there for Ryan Miller, and he finally puts it home to make this a 6-4 hockey game. Great work in the offensive zone there by Colin Branca and Ryan Miller. They managed to get that puck quickly across ice. Gosen making that pass and finding Ryan Miller at the far post. The first save was made by the goaltender Jacks, but Miller stuck with it and got a second opportunity. Made no mistake on that second chance, and he put it home to make this one a 6-4 hockey game. So the Bengals pick up an insurance goal here just inside the 11-minute mark to go in third period play. Now leading by a score of 6-4. Bengals can't be too comfortable with this lead, however, as they've had a number of leads in the last month or so of play and surrendered those leads in numerous occasions. Certainly have to make sure they keep their defensive responsibilities in mind as the puck is bouncing around just inside of their blue line. Comes out into center ice as Zach Schultz gets it away from a man. And now it's into the ECC territory as it's going to be Gallivan driving in towards the net. Gallivan feeds it in towards the goal. He caught the goalie leaning, and it went right under his pad into the back of the net. Ben Gallivan's second of the game has made this one 7-4. It was an innocent-looking play as Gallivan came up on his offhand. He made a move where it looked like he was about to go and circle the net, but kind of did an excuse-me backhand on net, and the timing couldn't have been better for it because the goaltender, Jax, was not prepared to deal with that shot, went right under the pad, into the net, and it's now 7-4 Buff State. 2 quick goals for the Bengals to give themselves a 3-goal lead here in this contest. Looking for more now up in front of the net to Schultz, right in on goal, and it comes screaming out into the corner. And behind the net, it's by Cena looking to break it out and relieve some of this pressure that the Bengals are putting on the ECC. Can't get it out of the zone now as Lotempio keeps it in. Attempt to get it down low does not succeed, and then it's quickly cleared by ECC all the way back down into Buffalo State territory. It's going to go for icing on the play, and the Bengals will get another offensive zone draw as they try to add to their 7-4 lead. Bengals doing a much better job of capitalizing on their opportunities here tonight, as they have 7 goals on the board, and they're still looking to continue that pressure here as they have an offensive zone draw. Sardina on for the draw, but it is won by the ECC Cats, and they try to play it up the far side. Bicena carries it out of the zone and is dumped in by Gorman. Has to make a second dump-in attempt to get it all the way deep into the Buff State zone. Now Ryan Kelly trying to break it out, takes a couple of hits there in behind his own net, and it's fed up the far side where it's going to be Guerrero trying to break out. Guerrero flips it through the neutral zone. Now Hunt putting some pressure on his man in the offensive zone. Hunt now in behind the net, putting pressure on the other defenseman as it comes out the near side to Kelly, and Kelly lays his man out right in front of the blue line. Loose puck in center ice, and it's going to be Elliott Hunt getting possession of it, carrying it across the blue line, drops it for Guerrero. Guerrero quickly back to Hunt there in the high slot, but Hunt can just play it along the boards as he had a man right on him. Michael Guerrero now behind the net. He has 2 different ECC players on him, does manage to get it away from them and then flip it up into the air, but it does hit the netting that is above the net area there inside the ECC zone, and so that's going to be a stoppage in play. 8:57 now remaining in the third. The Buff State Bengals have exploded here for a couple of goals in the last minutes and now have a 7-4 lead in this contest. As ECC wins the faceoff, it's going to be Colin Regent stopping hard behind his net, starting the breakout with a errant pass that doesn't have any chance to connect with any of his teammates in the neutral zone, and they're going to have to deal with another defensive zone draw back in the ECC zone. 8:45 now remaining in the third period. Support for Buffalo State Club Hockey comes from 95 Nutrition. Healthy and delicious meal prep and delivery, making it simple and easy to live a healthy lifestyle and to reach your nutritional goals. Enjoy the convenience of healthy eating with 95 Nutrition. Order online from their 8 Western New York locations for pickup or delivery. More information, 95nutrition.com. ECC again looking for that stretch pass through the neutral zone. Very well read by number 67, Alex Hussey, to keep that pass from connecting. This puck is then sent back into ECC territory. McFadden makes sure it stays in the zone as well. Now 8:25 to go in the third. Hager putting some pressure on there behind the net. Joe Lotempio putting some being there in the high slot to put some pressure on as well. ECC does manage to break it out, carries it in towards the net. Shot in on goal. First save made by Kump, the second save as well. Puck comes back to the point where Duma holds it in. He takes a shot, but that hits a body and comes out wide to the near side. Adam Brennan then drives his man into the boards, allowing the Bengals a chance to clear the zone. They do manage to get it out, but Isaac Murray hunts it down there at center ice, and he gets it back to his defenseman. And now the Cats start up ice. It's going to be Mohawk on the left side. Puck is batted in towards the center of the ice as Hussey takes a big hit right into his net. And Branken now trying to get it out at the far side. Can't do so, though, as Allen keeps it in the zone. Gosen then does manage to bank it off the far boards and get it into center ice. Quickly deposited back into the Buff State territory by ECC. As some pressure there on Hussey in behind the net, but he does manage to slide it along to Branca. Branca now trying to get it to Brennan, but Brennan a little sloppy with that, quickly in front of the net. And hammered home by Jacob Allen as the Bengals had a hard time breaking it out of their zone there. Puck was kind of left on a tee for the ECC player to set up his man right in the high slot. And a big one-time slap shot by number 9, Jake Allen, has the ECC Cats now back within 2. No shortage of goals here in this contest, as we've seen 12 of them, and we still have over 7 minutes of hockey to play here. Bengals sending out Sardina, Hunt, and McFadden for this draw up front, as Hunt's putting some pressure on his man in the offensive zone. Hunt looking for an opportunity here, right in on goal. Jax making that save. There was a rebound there briefly, but Sardina unable to get there quickly enough to get a second shot opportunity in on goal. And Jax does put the catching mitt over top of that puck to hold on for a whistle with 7:05 to go in the period. And back here in the Buff State zone, Colin Branca is departing the ice, possibly for some equipment to fix that he might have to deal with, but he is headed back to the Buff State bench, or the Buff State locker room rather. Keep an eye and see whether or not that gets sorted out, as ECC winning the draw. Colin Region looking to start the breakout, can't get it past Kelly. Kelly through traffic, looked like it hit Sardina just in front of the net and went just wide. Puck does come out into center ice as Guerrera settles it down, gets it up to his line mate Hunt. Hunt makes a move at the blue line, gets himself free, lets a shot go. That one just missed the net high. Guerrera slides over from his point position, now over there playing the left point here, as Guerrera has been playing forward much of this year. However, he did have quite a bit of experience playing defense for the Buff State Division III team. So he's certainly one of the players that the coaching staff feels very comfortable sliding back on defense. And that's where he is set up right now, as the Bengals are protecting a 2-goal lead. Yeah, looking at the Buff State bench, as all the players are up on their skates right now, certainly a lot of energy for Buff State. All the ECC Cats are seated on their bench. Never an indication really of too much, as just kind of the attitude of each bench at the moment. Puck is deflected through center ice, comes all the way back down into Buff State territory. Guerrera back there for it, battling against Shenfield for a loose puck. Gets it up to Lotempio at the far boards. Guerrera then has to play it along again as Lotempio bumps into his man there. And then the high flip clearing attempt won't work because of the low ceiling here in this building. So we're going to have another stoppage and a face-off coming up inside Buffalo State territory. Clock reads 6:01 remaining in third period play. And the upcoming face-off will be to the left of Evan Kumpf. Won by the captain, Joe Lotempio. But we're going to have a penalty called here right off of the draw, and it's going to be Gallivan whistled for the tripping call. Happened immediately off the draw. Actually, it's Lotempio getting the call. Gallivan reacted upset, angrily at the call. I thought it was going against him, but it ends up being against Lotempio as he took his man down right after the faceoff. And now ECC is going to get a chance on the power play as we are just under the 6-minute mark remaining in the third period. It's a big opportunity for ECC here as they trail by 2, score of 7-5. No surprise, they've got all of their guns out here for this power play. Allen here at the left point, setting things up for ECC. Gets it across to number 11, Kinsman, who has 2 goals today. Ianco with 2 goals as well, now carrying it out of the corner. Ianco goes cross ice. He's got Allen at the midpoint, now carrying it over to the right side of the top of the zone. Allen then goes down low where he's got a man. Kinsman drives in towards the front of the net. Backhand pass across the crease. Isaac Murray puts it into the empty net. It's now a 7-6 hockey game as the Bengals defensive zone coverage right there in front of their net broke down a little bit, and that man was wide open on the back door. The player that made the pass had plenty of room to carry it in towards the net before making the pass. So maybe a little bit of sloppy defense there from the Bengals has allowed a power play goal for ECC. And don't go anywhere, folks. We got ourselves a 1-goal hockey game with 5:31 to play. So the penalty ends up burning Buff State there as the ECC Cats take advantage, scoring the power play goal to make it 7-6. Sardina, though, looking to get that goal right back, though. Tries to take a shot through traffic. It hits a stick and goes wide. Sardina still keeping it moving in the offensive zone. Takes a hit in the near corner. Still maintaining possession. As he gets taken down on the play. Two different ECC players having to battle against him to finally get that puck off of his stick. But Sardina keeps it moving there in the offensive zone. And then a blindside hit on Guerrera. And that one's going to be a penalty. And this one could be a major call as well. This is one of those calls that I know USA Hockey has been trying to crack down on this year, and that was a blindside violent hit that was immediately called by the referee. Now we're going to have to see whether or not there's any sort of conversation between the referees as to how severely they want to make this call. It was number 14, Michael Joswiak, who laid that hit on Guerrera right along the near boards. Just the single official over there making the call. I'm guessing it's going to be 2 minutes, and that's what the scoreboard reads as well. So it is a 2-minute penalty against ECC, as the ECC bench is not happy about the call. They continue to complain to the referee. Not going to get them anywhere, though, as never really does. The clock is running, even though the puck is yet to be dropped. 3 seconds have clicked off the penalty already. And they started right at the puck drop, though, giving the home team a little bit of a benefit there. Shot taken right off the draw by Galvin. Shoulder saved by Jax. Bengals keep it, though, in the offensive zone. Guerrero with it here at the midpoint. Tries to get it to Elliott Hunt, but Hunt had two men right on him. ECC doing a good job of clearing the zone there. All the way back down in Buff State territory with a minute 35 on the power play. It's going to be Ben Galvin carrying it up the near side. Galvin into the offensive zone, stops just inside the blue line, sends it back to Sardina. Sardina across to Guerrero, right in on goal. Shot is deflected by Lotempio, and it goes wide. Now up against the back of the net as Lotempio battles for possession, but it comes out to Allen for ECC, and he just softly clears it all the way through the neutral zone just inside the Buff State blue line. Galvin picking it up here just inside the blue line, does a full 360 before heading up ice, getting it to Elliott Hunt just at the ECC blue line. Hunt stops as he curls just inside the zone, but his pass is off the mark and sent back down into Buff State territory now with under a minute to go in the Bengals power play. Galvin again carrying it out of his zone, gets it up to Guerrera here at center ice, then quickly across ice to Elliott Hunt, and the Bengals have it into the offensive zone with a little bit of room. Hunt now trying for that wraparound attempt. Looked like he had it there as the goaltender didn't quite quickly get across to his far post. Hunt unable to get it all the way around and get the full wraparound on it as it came out into the slot. And then the ECC managed to clear it. Now just 30 seconds remaining in their penalty. Mike Guerrera carrying it through the neutral zone. He's got some speed but loses control of it as Kinsman takes it off of his stick. Fed in front of the net there by Schultz. A bouncing puck. A little bit difficulty for the goaltender to handle that one there, but ECC does manage to clear it. Elliott Hunt's going to have to use his speed to get back there in front of Ienko. Ienko and Hunt there trying to find possession, but Schultz is the one who ends up coming out with it. Schultz just slows things down as the last couple of seconds come off of the Buff State power play. The ECC player has returned to the ice, and the teams are now 5-on-5 as Hunt looks to start the breakout yet again here on the near side. Gets it up to Galvin. Galvin's pass hits a skate as we are under 3 minutes now in the third. Buff State still protecting a one-goal lead. Galvin tries to bank it off the back of the net dangerously there. Does manage to get it up to Miller. Miller does clear the zone. ECC heading back into center ice before dumping it back in. Galvin's been out there a while now, still on the ice trying to start that breakout. Does get it up to Miller. Miller getting it out of the zone, but it's quickly sent right back in by ECC. A couple of Buff State players probably in the need of a change here as it's Ryan Kelly in behind the net. Kelly's pass comes slowly out of the zone. Miller does manage to get it out of the zone, and finally it is sent through center ice and all the way back down to ECC territory. Puck fed around behind the net. It's going to be Ienko picking it up here on the near side. He has Kinsman through the center of the ice. Kinsman with some speed through the neutral zone into the offensive end. Makes a move onto the forehand, but a great save. Evan Kumpf making his best stop of the afternoon, keeping Jack Kinsman from getting his third of the game and keeping this one a 7-6 contest. Big save there by number 30 as he got that left pad stretched out there to make that stop as Kinsman made the move to get to the forehand. ECC goaltender making a first move toward the bench as he was quickly told to stay where he was as ECC remains with their 5 players out there on the ice. Shot taken right after they win the faceoff, but Murray's wrist shot hits a stick on its way through and then deflects up and out of play, so they'll redo the faceoff again from that same far dot in the Buff State zone And it's going to be Sardina and Allen on for the draw with 1:55 in regulation. Faceoff comes to the far wall, now back to the point. Chance for Buff State to get it out. Guerrero takes it out of the zone with speed, tries to get it quickly up to Hunt. But Buff State is just in offsides on the play. Guerrero doesn't like the call, but I believe it was the correct call. And we're going to have a face-off in the neutral zone just outside of the ECC blue line with 1:44 remaining in regulation. Should be an exciting conclusion here from the Cheektowaga Town Rink. It's a one-goal hockey game. Lots of goals scored so far. 13 goals in total. It's a 7-6 Buffalo State lead. As the puck is inside the Bengals zone, Adam Brennan tries to start it up the far side. Bouncing puck in the mid-slot, played out of danger by Brennan, and now over here to the point, where it is kept in by Bielkowski. Murray tries to feed a pass out to Allen. Allen has to play it with his skate. Then he turns around and gets a shot in on goal. Duma getting that rebound, feeding it back to the point to Region. Region shot in. Blocker save made by Evan Kumpf on that one. The rebound's out in the high slot now and then cleared out to the point. Shot taken by Region again through a maze of bodies. Doesn't get in on net. And then good hustle there by Brett Sardina to beat all the ECC players to that loose puck and get the puck into the neutral zone as we are now at a minute left to play in regulation. Puck in behind the Buff State net as the ECC net is now empty. Allen taking that shot. It gets through those screens. Plenty of legs there in front of the net. Hit one of them and just missed that far post. And then the puck ends up being deflected up into the roof. And that's going to result in another stoppage in play and another face-off in the Buff State zone. Now just 44.7 seconds remaining in the third period. We're going to have an ECC timeout here as they want to make sure they get their best players out there for the last 47 seconds of regulation. As the ECC Cats are trailing in this one by a 7-6 score. It's been a wild affair between these two teams. Certainly plenty of scoring. Buff State got out to the early lead, getting the game's first 2 goals. But ECC has hung with the Bengals all the way throughout this game. And it's a 7-6 contest now with under a minute to go. Support for Buffalo State Club Hockey comes from Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. Our coverage also brought to you by Ivy Lee Pharmacy, a locally owned neighborhood pharmacy for over 60 years. If you're traveling to Canada, PCR COVID tests are available at Ivy Lee with a quick 1-hour turnaround. Ivy Lee is at 2446 Elmwood Avenue in Kenmore or online ivyleepharmacy.com. So the timeout is over and the teams are ready to get things started again. ECC winning that draw right off the hop. Shot taken from Allen, doesn't get through traffic, but it comes right out to Kinsman. Kinsman down low to Ianco. Ianco feeds it out in front, scramble for it there in front of the net. Jolo Tempio's the first one to find it, and he skates it out of danger, and then gets it to Gallivan, who has a chance at the empty net. Can't even get it out of the zone, though, and Zach Schultz has to now put some hustle in there to get it out. Can't get it to the blue line. Finally, Gallivan does get it out, and an offsides is called on the play as the puck barely came into center ice before coming back in. Jacob Allen clearly not agreeing with the call that was made. Not a whole lot that he can do about it right now, though, as there's going to be a neutral zone draw with 20.4 seconds now remaining in regulation. Ianco on the draw for the Cats, but Lotempio out-muscles him to get it forward. And the puck is played to the ECC blue line as Bielkowski goes back for it there. 9 seconds to go here in the period as it's set up and brought into the zone by Kinsman. Carried in on by Region. Region can't get that shot in on goal. Bouncing puck, shot taken up in the air, then into the roof as the horn goes to signal the end of the game. And we'll have to determine whether or not any time is going to be remaining here before the game is over. The referee is signaling that there should be time remaining. He's pointing one finger to the sky, so saying 1 second should be remaining in regulation. Have to note, though, Jolo Tempio is down on his knees there to the left of the Buff State goal. Bengals have already lost one player to injury here in this contest. And now it appears that number 28, the captain, Jolo Tempio, is having some difficulty getting back to his feet. Assistant coach Pat Krebs over there monitoring the situation. Trainer also over there to talk to Lotempio and to see how he's doing as the captain gets backed up to his skates and heads off the ice back to his team's bench. As we are now ready to get things picked up again here. We are not done. The horn has gone, but the referee has determined that a second should remain on the clock. So we're going to have one more face-off in the Buff State zone to the right of Evan Kumpf. Ianco and Hunt on the draw. Face-off quickly played forward by Ianco, but it doesn't get through the bodies, and that's going to be the way the game ends. It is a 7-6 win for the Buffalo State Bengals. A wild affair here from the Cheektowaga Town Rink, but the Buff State Bengals do manage to pick up their 9th win of the season and improve their record to 9-3-1, exacting a little bit of revenge for last week's loss to these same ECC Cats by a score of 5-4 in overtime, rather in a shootout. So the Cats dropped to 4-5-1 on the season. The Bengals improved their record to 9-3-1, and it was an entertaining hockey game for sure here from the Cheektowaga Town Rink. That is the last game of the semester for the Buffalo State Bengals. They have quite a bit of time off now. Their next game will be on January 28th as they pick up divisional play yet again. It is a road division game at Penn State Barron College, part of a 2-game weekend, the 28th and 29th of January. And the 29th, Bengals will be at Alfred State in Olean to take on the Pioneers, as a couple of division games coming up here in the near future. But that's going to be after a little bit of time off for the Bengals as they head into the semester break with a much-needed victory. Bengals had not been playing their best hockey coming into this one, but they pick up a much-needed win here over the ECC Cats by a score of 7-6. And not only is this the last game of the semester for the Bengals, but it is also probably the last game for one of the team's leaders, number 88, Adam Brennan. Brennan is joining the Police Academy, and as such, these 2 games here this weekend most likely going to end up being his last in a Buffalo State uniform. And we can't thank him enough for his future service to the community, as well as everything that he has done for the Black and Orange. Number 88, the alternate captain for the last 2 seasons for the Buff State Bengals, has been a great leader on and off the ice. He's certainly chipped in more than a little bit on the offensive end here this season, as on the season he had picked up an assist today to give him a goal and 9 assists on the season. A great 12 games for Adam Brennan here in his last hockey as a Buffalo State Bengal. We thank him as much as we possibly can for his service for the team, to the program, and we wish him nothing but the best as he joins the Police Academy. Buffalo State Club Hockey is brought to you by the law offices of Nicholas J. Narchis, an advocate for Western New Yorkers with blue-collar roots, providing efficient and cost-effective representation from offices in Lockport and Geneseo. Find them online, narchislaw.com. Our supporters also include the Hurdle Parker Liquor Store, with everyday low prices on a great selection of wines and spirits. The Hurdle Parker Liquor Store on the corner of Hurdle and Parker in North Buffalo. Our supporters also include 95 Nutrition, healthy and delicious meal prep and delivery, making it simple to live a healthy lifestyle and reach your nutritional goals. Enjoy the convenience of healthy eating with 95 Nutrition. Order online from their 8 Western New York locations for pickup or delivery. More information can be found online at 95nutrition.com. Our coverage also brought to you by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. 856-2872 or militello.com. Support for Buffalo State Club Hockey comes from Ivy Lee Pharmacy, a locally owned neighborhood pharmacy for over 60 years. If you're traveling to Canada, PCR COVID tests are available at Ivy Lee with a quick 1-hour turnaround. Ivy Lee Pharmacy, 2446 Elmwood Avenue in Kenmore. Our coverage brought to you by Town Auto. For over 50 years, a proud member of the Western New York community, putting customers' needs first and helping them find the right car at the right price. The dealerships of Town Auto make buying a car easy, whether online, over the phone, or in store. We love our town. And our supporters include Envious Gameware, the official uniform supplier of Buffalo State Club Hockey, making high-end custom team uniforms, bags, and apparel. Find them online, enviousgameware.com. That's going to about do it for our coverage here from the Cheektowaga Town Rink. And that's going to wrap up our coverage of first semester play for the Buffalo State Bengals. The Bengals end the first semester with a record of 9-3-1. The next game is a road game. It is at Penn State Barron College, and that comes up Friday, January the 28th at 7 p.m. For camera operator Jeff Jazarowski, I'm Aaron Elpern. Thanks for joining us today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.